Eugene Pate.
It's been a while since we've been on the air with American Legion Baseball. Should have another good matchup here. Pate, pretty good season so far, 19-4. We saw Newburgh earlier this year. Their record is 14-7.
When you first take a look at Newburgh Capperman, actually from the beginning of the season to today, this is the team that can be down 10, 12, 15 runs and still come back and make a ball game of it.
Well, we saw that exact same thing in the Funkhauser game we had on earlier this year. I think you're going to see a very good matchup. A lot of speed on both ball clubs. See a lot of aggressive base running.
Of course, Newburgh Capperman led by a standout of John Logan, Gator McBride.
Tell you, he has had an exceptional year, a really good year his first year over there at the junior college, and really has continued to bring it on through the summer ball.
Evansville Eugene Pate has played together as a unit probably for the last 10 or 12 games, getting those from Memorial. Robbie Kent still standing out, a great Legion season for him in his last.
Well, he had a real good senior season, and you really expect everything from Robbie when you go out, defense as well as the offense, and I think everybody's really starting to get used to the different positions that they've been put on. We're going to see a little different lineup tonight from Pate.
Slowly pitching has gotten better for both. I like Adam Hines.
Adam is a real good pitcher, and we've seen him a number of times this year. His control is his big thing. If he gets his strikes early in the count, look out because he's going to be tough.
Newburgh Capperman, Evansville, Eugene Pate, Adam Hines, Jim Lynch, the starting pitchers. We'll have the first pitch on TV 52 after this.
Coming up next time, all the bloops and blunders and magnificent wonders of this week in baseball.
High drive deep to left center field. Back goes Devereaux. Still going back. He caught it. He's brought it back into the ballpark. He drives one deep down the left field line. This one is way back there. Way back and gone, a home run.
It's Newburgh Capperman and Evansville Eugene Pate with Doug Emmett. I'm Darren Smith. Back-to-back nights, American Legion Baseball. Tonight we are in Newburgh for Capperman and Pate. Post 265 and post 44. Two teams as, well, figured having pretty good seasons. Doug?
And our second look this year at Newburgh Capperman, we had them earlier against Rockport that took us into the early morning hours with a very good come-behind victory that I think really woke the team up. You come in with a record of 14-7. As we mentioned in the pregame on the mound tonight, Jim Lynch.
Well, Jim Lynch out of Harrison, a young player, and a lot of young players on this year's American Legion teams, or younger than years past, all who are, by the way, answering the call as of lately.
And I think that that can really be attributed to two factors: the way that they are brought up around baseball, playing at such an early age, and really the high school season that they've really had the past 2 years because of the coaching staff around.
Evansville Eugene Pate 19-4 will bat this way after coming off a 7-0 win last night over Tell City over at Bosse Field. Adrian Hoskins out of Bosse, the center fielder, will lead off. Brian Sukas, the third baseman. Robbie Kent out of the three-hole. Sean Merkel batting cleanup. And tonight, Sean Merkel plays left field.
And we talked about a little bit switch in the lineup. A couple people not really in familiar positions. You look at Merkel out in left field. He probably has done a good job with his bat, and that's one of the reasons that they've got him in the lineup.
Jason Craddock, familiar position. He'll be behind the plate batting fifth. Chris McCutcheon sixth. Randy Brucken, Jim Brockting, and Adam Hines round out the starting nine for Evansville Eugene Pate. Lynch and Stan Wilson, your battery. Terry McCauley at first. Jason Engelbrecht at second. Jamie Carroll, the shortstop. B.J. Huff at third. Donnie Kelly, Gator McBride, and Tom Tice left, center, and right field. Mr. Adrian Hoskins, and what a second half of the season this individual put together.
And I think he really came among himself after he had some tutelage from Ed Noddle over at Bosse. He really began to understand the game of baseball. We talked about his offense. He's really quick. Look, you can see the infield right now, playing in, expecting a bunt.
Count 1-1 here to Adrian Hoskins. Again, Sukas on deck, Robbie Kent here. We'll see action. Top half of the first inning, scheduled for 9. American Legion Baseball's Tuesday night or Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, Rockport comes into Bosse Field, again with Evansville Eugene Pate. This one out of play, so the count 1-2 strikes. Lynch is one of those pitchers, and even his coach Andy Rice is here, who needs a little bit of time. Look for him to be dominating next year for the Warriors.
And he should really get a lot of experience this summer with the American Legion program, working with his pitches, trying to get ahead of the count.
1-2 pitch stays that way. 1-2. At the beginning of the season, I was a little bit let down. But actually, the American Legion play, not only here with Pate, but Funkhauser as well. But now they're playing, I guess, gelling together as a team, Doug.
And I think it really takes some time for everybody to get used to playing with one another. Everybody's coming off their high school season, playing with their usual teammates. When you throw in different players playing at different positions, it's going to take a while. 2
balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Hoskins. Just a powerful 1 through 9 here for Evansville Pate, but it practically always is with American Legion baseball. If you're new to American Legion baseball or watching for the first time, these are the very best high school players, and in some cases, college freshmen about to be sophomores in the area. 2-2 pitch to Hoskins. Slow roller, that's B.J. Huff out of Castle. Huff goes to Terry McCauley. Familiar name from Evansville Memorial. There's 1 away.
Good defensive play there by Huff. We talked about the speed of Hoskins. The infield was playing in just a little bit, knowing that if he got a ball down in the dirt, he was going to be able to probably beat it out. A good play over there by Huff.
There was one kid who made a name for himself with North High School. When you thought of baseball, you thought of Brian Sukas.
And he is in an unfamiliar place looking back at his high school season. Spent a lot of time at shortstop position for Danny Sparrow over at North.
Brian Sukas, strike 1. Lynch, good location early. That has been a problem with all pitching here, especially in that game we had out here about a month ago between Newburgh and Funkhauser. 0-1 to Sukas. Robbie Kent on deck, 1 away. Top half of the first inning. 1 on the inside, letter high to Brian Sukas.
As we talk about, a lot of times it's important early in the ball game for a pitcher to come out and have his best stuff. When you go through the first 9, you really have to show them a little bit of everything so that they get up there trying to guess what you're going to throw and you can maybe fool them.
1 knocked back out of play. Count 1-2. Right now, as we turn to the crucial part of the season, the final 2 weeks before sectional time, right here at Castle High School. Boonville is playing also pretty good ball. They're about 500, but a little bit more potent than that. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Brian Sukas.
Brian on the season at .317, 20 hits and 63 at-bats. And this Pate ball game, we talked about the really potential offensively as a team hitting .330.
That's very good, especially the team that got together kind of late, as mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Memorial sending their bundle over at the end of June. So for the past 2 weeks, they've been playing together as a full unit. 2-2 pitch on the outside. We're full to Brian Sukas.
And with a 9-inning ball game, Jim is not going to be able to do this to too many batters. With the number of pitches that he's thrown so far, he went 2-2 to Hoskins before he fouled a pitch off. There's a big pitch right there.
And that is the first K of the early evening for the Harrison product. Jim Lynch quickly, there's 2 away.
Brings up the shortstop, Robbie Kent. Leads his Pate program in hitting. Late addition after Memorial made it to the state finals this year. .476, 20 hits and 42 at-bats.
Simply outstanding, without question, the best shortstop in southwestern Indiana. Tonight he's going up against one that beat him out for an all-star team, and Jamie Carroll for Newburgh. So we'll see Carroll versus Kent tonight at shortstop. And at the bats, I like Robbie.
Not really a hole as far as his offense goes. We talk about his defense a lot. He's come through with some big hits through his years at Memorial. Right now leads this Pate club in doubles and triples. 7 doubles on the season and 3 triples.
1-0 pitch here to Robbie Kent. That one knocked out of play. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. You're looking at here a college freshman who will probably start his first year with Notre Dame.
It's going to be hard to keep him out of the lineup. A lot of times you see a freshman go into a Division I program. It takes him a while to adjust, but if anybody can do it and anybody has the tools, Robbie is one that does.
1-1 to Robbie Kent. Chance for 1-2-3, getting that Harrison product. Jason Engelbrecht on his way to UK. We go to the bottom half of the first inning on a Wednesday evening. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Evansville's own WAZ TV 52.
You want to save some money? Recycle with the Muse Snapper. You want to save yourself some time? Recycle with the Muse Snapper. You want to do your part in protecting the environment? Recycle with the Muse Snapper. Want to mow now with no payments till October 1992? Recycle with the Muse Snapper. From Muth's Outdoor Power Equipment on Congress behind Eastland Mall. Hey, I said recycle, not motorcycle! Some guys never get it right.
In 1952, Butch Rabin opened the first Rabin Tire Store, starting a tradition of quality tires and great service. Today, more folks buy tires from Butch's 7 Sons than anyone else in the tri-state. And they say thank you with a big 40th anniversary celebration. Save on all of Raven's best-selling tires. And now, when you buy 3 Goodyear Invicta GL radials, you get the 4th tire free. Celebrate 40 years of quality tires and service at all Raven tire locations.
We take a look there at one of the finer pitchers in next year's SIAC baseball race out of North High School, Adam Hines.
And we talked a little bit about Adam in the pregame. Comes in with a record of 5-0, 2.76 ERA. 38 innings of work has allowed 43 base hits, 18 runs, 15 of those earned, 24 strikeouts, and also 10 walks.
I was talking about Adrian Hoskins earlier, about how much he matured from game 1 to the final game of the regular season or just the postseason. Here's another, Doug, and even more so than summer of '92, Adam Hines.
And you look really at his stats, and they are impressive. He's not a big power pitcher. He's, like we said in the pregame, strength is his location. He's going to give up a lot of base hits, but he comes back with good pitches to get him out of jams.
Newburgh Camperman, again 14-7 from the top down. Jason Engelbrecht will lead off. Jamie Carroll, shortstop, will bat second. Donnie Kelly out of the 3-hole. Gator McBride cleanup. Stan Wilson, Tom Tice, Terry McCauley, B.J. Huff, and Jim Lynch. Round out the starting 9 for Newburgh Camperman battery here. Hines and Jason Craddock, very, very familiar to each other.
Spent a lot of time at the North program, and I think Jason really came onto himself last year as just a sophomore. He has really improved his offense. A very good defensive catcher as well.
So we're going to take a look at Adam Hines on the hill tonight for Eugene Pate. Outstanding again. 19-4 for Pate, the Big Green Machine, the team that upset them last year in the sectional over at Boonville. Revenge in '92, sectionals right here at Castle. Coming up at the end of the month, actually begin on July the 31st and run through August 2nd. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Engelbrecht. 1 down low, count 2-1 from Adam Hines.
And we talked about the shakeup in the Pate lineup. You can see that Newburgh has kind of done some switching as well since our last game. Last game, Jason was in the number 9 hole, this time leading off.
Here is Jamie Carroll. First in time, Carroll to Terry McCauley. Or Robbie Kent to Randy Bruckett. I got Carroll on the mind because Carroll is coming up next.
You look at both Robbie and Jamie, and probably in the state of Indiana, you're not going to find 2 better shortstops within such a small radius of one another. You know that they are offensively very dangerous, both good defensive shortstops as well.
Here is Jamie Carroll with Don Kelly on deck. Hines and Craddock, your battery. Bruckett at first, Bochting at second. Robbie Kent, the shortstop. Brian Sukas at third. Sean Merkel, Adrian Hoskins, Chris McCutcheon, left center and right field. 0-1 here to Jamie Carroll. Also an outstanding bat from the Castle Knights. You've got power with Kelly and the great hitting ability of Gator McBride batting cleanup.
And for such a small hitter, he has some very good power.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Jamie Carroll, not bad either. Comes in batting .293, but we know he can do just a little bit better than that.
I think sometimes they might push themselves just a little bit too much, knowing that they are capable of doing a lot more. And sometimes, as we see in the major leagues, you do encounter slumps, and you just really have to work your way through that and not press yourself too hard.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Nice solid shot. Good stop there by Sukas. No, it got by him. Underneath the glove, Sukas over 3 steps, couldn't grab it. And there's your first hit of the ball game belonging to Newburgh Camperman.
And for Newburgh really to be powerful tonight, they're going to have to take advantage of every opportunity against Pate. Pate is such a good defensive team. That time you saw the range there of Zukas over at third base, just out of his reach. Pretty good speed on the bases with Carroll as well, and you've got an excellent hitter coming up in Kelly.
Don Kelly, the left fielder.
Right down that right field line.
This very high on Kelly as well.
Big hole there.
Don Kelly, of course, out of Harrison, will graduate next year. Comes in batting .328 here for Newburgh Camperman. Out by 4 steps, Jamie Carroll with a lot of speed over at first base, so Adam Hines will check him back. Randy Bruckett covering over at first.
And you just want to make sure he doesn't get too big a lead. Adam is smart enough out there on the mound to know not really to let the base runners affect his pitching overall, but you want to keep him close.
Count is 1-0 here to Don Kelly. Gator McBride on deck. He has had some shots out here, Doug. Take a look at the scoreboard, which is about almost 400 feet away. He's cleared that a couple of times here.
I think the thing that really is impressive about Gator, because of his small build, is he's got such quick hands and he gets that bat around so quick.
1-0 here to Kelly. Jamie Carroll out by 4 steps over at first. 1-0 pitch. They're trying to find the corner and does so. There is 1 ball and 1 strike.
How's that foot out?
Fans agree?
Yes.
Key here is to keep an eye also on Jamie Carroll. Again, he's out by 4 steps. Again, check him back. Closer at first base.
And Adam has a pretty quick move for being a right-hander. You look over there, it's really all one motion, and it's a lot of timing involved as far as trying to get a look at the runner, seeing when he gets his full lead.
Carroll up by 5 on the outside. Hines concerned with Carroll, as well he should be, fighting on the outside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike here. Don Kelly with the dangerous Gator McBride on deck. Again, Newburgh Kapperman 14-7. Will take on Ferdinand on Friday night. Pate back in action tomorrow night, Bossy Field with Rockport. You'll see that game at 10:30.
Should be 3-0.
And that Rockport team has some pretty good hitters too. I'm not going to find too many Legion programs around that have the offense the way Southern Indiana does this year. You look at Funkhauser, also Pate, this Newburgh club, also Boonville over there. We have not yet had an opportunity here on TV 52 to see them, but they have some offense as well.
1 down low, count 3 balls now and a strike to Don Kelly. And right now, Adam Hines is struggling.
Occasionally he runs into that, but I think he's got enough confidence in himself, knowing that he's got to come back with a big pitch right now. You've got a good hitter in Kelly at the plate. You don't want to give in too much, but you still have to get a strike.
Carroll's on by 4. He may get a pass down to second here. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Carroll going hit and run on. It's going foul and out of play, so the count 3-2.
Aggressive base running right there, sending him on a 3-1 pitch, knowing that you've got a good hitter at the plate. If it's going to be anywhere close, Donnie's going to get a piece of it.
3 balls and 2 strikes. How a long one is talked about last time out here at Castle High School. Almost 4 hours between Funkhauser and Newburgh. If you watched it, a pass ball with the bases loaded. 16-15 after trailing 11-1. And Newburgh, one of the great comebacks of American Legion baseball. That was about a month ago. And this one taken to center field. Got it back up, Adrian Hoskins. What would be the warning track here? There is a big, long second out.
And we talked about the defense of Adrian. He uses his speed real well, but I think he's really learned how to read the ball off the bat. That time got a good jump on the ball. It appeared as soon as it left the bat that it might have a chance to be into the gap. But with the speed of Hoskins out there in center field, he ran it down.
He is going to be one of the great center fielders or outfielders next year in the SIAC, as this one was with his speed, Gator McBride.
And you look at Gator, leads this team in home runs with 8. Has really put together a good last 2 years. We talked to him last year during baseball season, really had pursued maybe a football career in college, and because of some outside influence decided to try baseball.
With the last 6-3, they leave 1. We played 1 at Castle High School. You're watching American Legion Baseball on WAZ TV 52.
My hero, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero, Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Good buddies, they're the best of friends. Good buddies, and the good times never end. Their critical minds are always debating. Keep your eye on their thumbs to find out the rating. Good buddies. Good buddies. But are they best of friends? Yeah.
With Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith, back out at Castle High School. American Legion Baseball's Wednesday night. Evansville, Eugene, Pate, and Newburgh Kapperman.
2 up here for Pate in the top half of the second. Merkel, Craddock, and McCutcheon, 4, 5, and 6.
Brucken, Bochting, and Hines to round out the starting 9 here. for Evansville, Eugene Pate. Again, 19-4 coming in. Newburgh, Capperman 14-7. Capperman back in action Friday night. Ferdinand is a 6-game homestand for them. Back and forth and in and out of Bossy Field is Eugene Pate. They're back in action tomorrow night at Bossy Field, 7:30 in Rockport. 0-1 here. Leadoff batter Sean Merkel, left field tonight.
Sean Merkel, 292 on the season, 7 hits and 24 at bats. Again, not a lot of strikeouts, only 3 strikeouts through his first 24 at bats.
0-1 here to Burke. Down low outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. As mentioned, he and a handful of others joining the team in late June after going all the way to the state championship at Indianapolis.
Nice pitch.
1 down low for a 1-2 count. Even though you go to Indianapolis and lose, it's a thrill just to be there.
It is a big honor. It seems like every year people expect Memorial to have a very good team. More than likely try to get to the state finals, and because you're so used to seeing them there, it's not really a big surprise when they make it. But you look at really the team that Quentin Merkel put together this year. Only 1 loss heading up there to Indianapolis, and what a great season for the Tigers.
Yeah, I still like Memorial next year, but I also like Wrights next year also, Doug.
Well, you look at the season they had last year and got a lot of experience advancing to the semi-state. Really didn't know what to expect this year. Struggled early like most of the Evansville teams did, and then really came together again at the postseason.
Thanks to 1-2 to Don Kelly in left field. And there's one away here, top half of the second. On this evening, we're scheduled to go 9. Brings up Jason Craddock, the catcher.
443 this season, leads the team in hits with 27 and 61 at-bats. He's also picked up 6 doubles, a triple, and 17 RBIs.
Solid baseball player. 2nd year on the team now with Pate. He will finish out his career also with Eugene Pate. He's got a couple more years to go. Makes one on the inside there for strike 1. Good, very good location from Jim Lynch.
Very impressed so far through the first inning, and the first batter here, he has really only gone 3-2 to 1 batter. That was Zukas before a strikeout back in the first.
This one taken on the ground, slow it down. Jamie Carroll gives way to B.J. Huff. Huff in time to Terry McCauley. There's 2 away.
They tell a third baseman as far as his range, you go until the shortstop calls you off, and that time it appeared that Carroll was going to get the ball in the hole, but good job by Huff getting over in front of him and still had enough time to plant himself and make a good throw.
Another out of Bossy High School, and Chris McCutcheon, Doug, and like I said, very impressed with Ed Noddle so far this year, or his first year. And he really turned the program around, and here's one of the reasons why.
And I had a chance to talk to Chris a little bit a couple weeks ago, and they really enjoyed this season learning the baseball game from Ed Noddle.
Into the glove of Tom Tice. Shoestring catch sends this one to the bottom half of the 2nd inning. On a Wednesday night, it's American Legion baseball. Right here on Evansville's own WAZ TV 52.
And a spouse abusing alcohol can leave you with no outlet. Dealing with a disturbed or hyperactive child can be devastating. There is somewhere to turn. 1-800-467-4174. A 24-hour helpline staffed by a trained therapist who can help. A friend who's always there for you when you have nowhere to turn. Directions: 1-800-467-4174. Give us a call.
Hey gang, have you checked out Evansville's newest connection for sweats and t-shirts? It's called the T-Shirt Connection, and it's your fall and winter wear outlet. The T-Shirt Connection is serving area schools, including elementary, high school, and colleges, with hats, sweatshirts, and jackets. Come in and take advantage of group and team rates. Open 7 days a week, located next to Movie Warehouse on Lloyd Expressway West. Proud to serve the West Side. T-Shirt Connection, 4818 Lloyd Expressway West.
Wilson, Tice, McCauley, bottom half of the 2nd inning, scoreless at Castle High School.
And pretty good job by both pitchers so far through the first inning, and 2 innings for pitcher Jim Lynch for Newburgh. Hines gave up 1 base hit back in that first inning, a single just got by the third baseman Brian Zukas out into left field, and after that time got a fly ball and a ground ball out to get out of an inning.
Stan Wilson, the graduating senior, very, very strong player.
Kind of looks like a football player, and I'm sure that he carries that aggressiveness from the football field over here to the baseball field. Spent a lot of time last year as the catcher for the Harrison Warriors. Kind of split that position this year between that and third base.
One there, found the outside corner. And that's Adam Hines on the hill for Evansville Pate. Bottom half of the second, scoreless. Pate and Camperman. Post 265, post 44. One upstairs. Backing up, that's Jim Bochting, one away.
And Jim has really come on and done a good job. Kind of a late substitution. Got the early start with the Memorial kids away. You also got Ryan Brownlee on this club that can play second base. But Jim is a real good, solid second baseman and also can give you some offensive punch.
And it sometimes makes it fun. Memorial playing Memorial. They're kind of split with the kids living in Newburgh here, or where they're regionally zoned, I would say. This is Tom Tice, also out of Memorial.
I think Tom really came on strong for Quentin Merkel late in the season. Got early start in the season and then kind of struggled a little bit, but I think he probably worked harder than anybody else gearing up his offense and really trying to improve his defensive play in the outfield.
Nothing at one, and right there to Adrian Hoskins. Watch this kid, folks, the next couple of seasons with the Bossy Bulldogs. He's very, very quick and very, very good.
You know he's got the speed, and he really is learning how to play the outfield. You could see that time he picked that ball immediately off the bat. Most center fielders like that would try maybe to take a step or two, realize they couldn't get there, but because he's so quick, he made it with ease.
Here is Terry McCauley. Huff and Lynch round out the starting nine for Newburgh. Quickly two away here, bottom half of the second inning. First from Hines to McCauley. Letter high upstairs, ball one.
Terry has really done a good job, one of the big extra basemen for this Newburgh club. We saw him in that Rockport game, picked up a couple doubles in that game.
That's 3:26 coming in. Busy weekend for both. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Terry McCauley. Out of Castle, B.J. Huff on deck. Again, one upstairs, Adam Hines.
Adam right now just trying to see what pitches are working for him. That time a breaking pitch really didn't crack it enough at the top of the release point, and there's another one just up high.
Hines is missing. He is missing high here early through 2 innings. High and inside for the most part. 3-1 here to Terry McCauley. 2 away, trying for the 1-2-3. One that had to be there, not. Upstairs again, high. So it's a two-out walk given up to Terry McCauley.
Brings up the third baseman, B.J. Huff. And you could see right there that Adam trying to get that curveball down a little bit. Came with 3 straight breaking pitches, all 3 missed high.
Huff, of course, the name that stands out with the Castle Knights 92 edition. Should have an outstanding collegiate career as well.
One of the better defensive third basemen around. He's got the range we saw before with the play right in front of Jamie Carroll that last inning.
1 more year to go in the high schools for B.J. Huff. Then he's off to college. That's 407 with 2 homers here in the 92 summer season. McCauley out by 4 over at first. Finding the mark, right back comes Hines. And he has Huff right now, 0-2.
And that shows a sign of a good pitcher when you fall behind and lose a batter 3 straight balls as he did with McCauley to come right back with 2 strikes.
0-2 pitch. There on the inside again. And the count 1-2. Wind died down out there, center field. 385 center field. 335 down the lines. 365 power alleys. 1-2 pitch on the outside. Got him. That is strikeout number 1. 1 through 8 there for Adam Hines. We move to the top half of the 3rd inning. Wednesday night American Legion Baseball continues on TV 52.
It used to be that car buyers had 2 choices. The expensive new car with that troubling initial new car depreciation, and the traditional used car with high mileage and suspect condition. Now there's the Smart Cars alternative. It has extremely low mileage, a majority of the manufacturer's warranty, no new car depreciation, and it comes in virtually every make and model. Now isn't it time you got really smart?
Smart Cars, only at Kenny Kent Northside, Diamond and Heidelbach.
Well.
Bruck and Jim Bochting and Adam Hines. 7, 8, and 9 for Eugene Pate.
Bottom half of the order, and they still have got some punch when you've got Randy Brucken hitting close to 350, batting the 7-hole, you know that you've got a lot of offense. Put together a very good senior year, had a hit streak that was close to one of the state's finest. I believe it was 24 games in the high school season. On the season for Eugene Pate, 349, leads the team in RBIs with 18.
You know, people talk about Memorial losing so much this year in the graduating class. How about North? They lose a couple of key guys as well.
Well, you look at Randy, and he has been one of the best hitters in the city the past 2 years. And anytime you lose a hitter with that type of potential, also he has worked real hard on his defense at first base. It's going to hurt.
1-0 here to Randy Brucken. Balking on deck. Adam Hines again rounding out the starting 9 for Pate. Top half of the third inning scoreless. Pate looking for win number 20 on the season. Newburgh looking for 15. So again, they compile the wins early throughout the season. Successful this part of Indiana. It's a shame you have 4 good teams going into a sectional that could advance probably at any others. 1 goes, 3 are gone.
Probably one of the tougher sectionals around the state. And you've got really Newburgh, Pate, also Funkhauser that seem to have good years year after year, and then you throw in Boonville. Sometimes they really come up and surprise people.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Count to Randy Brucken. Tomorrow night it's Rockport for Pate. We'll have it on at 10:30. 2-2 pitch. Get lifted high. Lots popped in the air tonight. Jason Engelbrecht, there's one away.
Brings up the second baseman for Pate, Jim Bochting. Jim on the season, 274, 17 hits and 62 at-bats.
You'll hear more and more also from this individual in the coming season.
Should be a vital part of the Memorial program next year. Spent a lot of time this year on the reserve level, and I think really starting to come into his own. It helps when you can come into the Legion season and get an automatic start.
Hines awaits on deck. 1-0 here to Bochting. So far, no problem at all for Jim Lynch. Has a K to his name, and no one yet to reach. Infield's been busy, but a lot have been in the air, actually on both sides this early. 1-1 from Lynch. This one again to the ground. Going to sneak in there, should for the first base hit, and does. Nice try by Jamie Carroll to get on over there.
Defense right there, just showing the sheer speed and the range. Got past the third baseman, B.J. Huff, and Jamie got over into the hole. Did a good job stopping the ball before it got into the outfield, and no play at all at first base on Bochting.
Adam Hines here. Really improved in the course of 1 year to another. You remember him with a junior Legion team, and now a dominant force here on the senior circuit.
And does pretty good at the plate too. 333 on the season, 5 hits and 15 at-bats. During the first half of the season, the American Legion coaching staff has an option to use a DH or hit the pitcher. And then I believe after the 4th of July, because the tournament is getting so close, they eliminate the DH.
This one right back here to Jim Lynch. There becomes the second out. Move the base runner up, almost committing himself too far there. There's 2 away.
Back to the top of the order, and Adrian Hoskins. 0 for 1 grounded out to B.J. Huff at third back in the first.
Hoskins has his bat going. And if you remember Hoskins, Doug, at the beginning of the season, and I talked with this with Ed Noddle. At times defensively in the field, he looked like he was lost out there, but really came into his own, and that a lot is due to the coaching of Noddle.
And I think he probably got by a lot of his defensive plays because he is fast. If he did not get a good read on the ball as soon as it came off the bat, once he located it, he used that speed to run it down. And I think because of the coaching staff, particularly Ed Noddle, he taught him how to read the ball. And out in center field, you get a good read if you know what to pick the ball up, kind of use the press box as a background.
Will Ed Noddle be back in 1993? That question has been tossed around a little bit. A lot of people saying no.
I think he's in a very difficult situation and would like to come back. Feels that he really can't devote as much time as he should. So a very tough decision for Coach Noddle.
That opens up another coaching job also here in Evansville. And with so many candidates, Okie Pryor comes to mind over at Wrights.
Probably 3 or 4. would have a good chance of getting that head coaching job. A lot of them have spent a lot of years as assistant coaches and reserve coaches, and it's just a matter of who wants to go over there. I think with the program that Ed has built in the past year, really bringing back the basic fundamentals to the game. And as we said a number of times this year on our broadcast, the baseball program is having fun again at Boise.
3-0 here to Adrian Hoskins. Not as big in size, so harder to pitch to here for Lynch. Lynch down by the most here, 3-0, and he comes back there on the inside, 3-1. Still down at second. Bochting with the one-out single. Hines goes down 1-3, and now 3-1 to Adrian Hoskins with Sukas on deck. Pate looking to strike first. 3-1 down low, so it's first and second here for the big green machine.
And as you would expect, a leadoff man getting on base is his main job. He's drawn 20 walks so far. That is his 21st. Leads the team in runs scored with 22, also stolen bases with 21.
First walk given up by Jim Lynch brings up Brian Sukas, K victim, back in the first inning.
Brian on the season at .317, 20 hits in 63 at-bats, and is another one that if he gets on base with a base ahead of him, look out, he's picked up 15 stolen bases so far.
Hoskins and Bochting each out by 4. Foul the first off. 0-1 here to Brian Sukas.
And I think the way Lynch has pitched so far through the first 9, he's really got some confidence out there where he knows he can come in with a big pitch. Even though you've got runners at first and second, you've got 2 men out.
Come on, dude.
0-1 to Brian. Robbie Kent on deck, but 2 away. One on the inside, taken deeper. Over moves Gator McBride. Let's see the speed. Can't get that one. Evansville, Eugene Pate will score first, and they're sending Hoskins with his speed. Play here at the plate. Hoskins is safe. 2-0 Evansville.
Very observant base running right there, too, by Sukas. He saw that the ball got past Jim Lynch, the pitcher, all the way to the plate, and Stan Wilson really couldn't come up with it. Nobody was back here backing up home plate thinking that there was not going to be a play at the plate. The throw came in there. Sukas saw that and took a chance and got to third.
Robbie Kent, the shortstop. 2 in for Eugene Pate, top half of the third inning, and 1 to keep it going here. Kent, as mentioned, one of the better batters on the addition of the 92 Pate team.
.476, as we talked about, leads the team in doubles and triples, and that only in 42 at-bats.
First to Kent, taken right down here to Jamie Carroll. Shortstop to first, Carroll to McCauley. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. Pate striking first, 2 ends, 2-0 Evansville Eugene Pate. You're watching American Legion Baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
When it comes to medicine, your pharmacist plays an important role. At Physician Center Pharmacy, their main concern is you and your medication. An independent, locally owned and operated pharmacy, Physician Center Pharmacy has computerized prescription records, a complete line of name brand and generic products, along with a broad range of over-the-counter merchandise. Centrally located next to Deaconess Hospital, Physician Center Pharmacy accepts most prescription insurance plans. Physician Center Pharmacy, competitive prices along with friendly and professional service.
Because it's your time, your money, your future. You need a guide to today's complex business world. Fast, early, before you start your business day.
Good morning and welcome to this morning's business.
From the boardrooms to the assembly lines, who's leading the pack and who's bottoming out.
Now for a final look at today's top stories on the economic front.
Wherever the changes are taking place, your business future begins with this morning's business.
Back out at Castle High School with Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith. Evansville Eugene Pate hits the board first. They're up by a score of 2-0. Doug.
Heading to the bottom half of the third, Lynch back to the top. Engelbrecht and Carroll due up for Capperman.
Good hitting, but so far pretty good pitching for this guy, Jim Lynch. Got a little wild there and got a little high on the batters.
Well, when you get a club coming in like Pate that can do a lot of damage offensively, really didn't have a problem the first 2 innings. Set them down 1, 2, 3, both in the first and the second. A lot of couple base hits, also a walk to Haskins, and Bochting and Hoskins, the 2 runners scoring back in the top of the inning.
So it's Lynch, Engelbrecht, Carroll. And this one knocked back out of play, 0-1. It's going to help a pitcher so much to have a familiar catcher behind the plate in the summer.
I think that they have been used to working together the past probably 4 or 5 years when you look playing together, Colt League ball and the instructional league as well as Junior Legion in the last couple of years. You really have to have confidence in your catcher as a pitcher, knowing that he is going to call the right pitches, not really worrying about what you're going to throw to a certain hitter.
0-2 here. Hines coming strong and right back to him. Hines goes to Brucken. Kind of a north triangle there on the near side. There's one away. Had a call tonight on Sports Talk about one fan not liking the instructional league because it keeps the players away from, well, maybe a Colt league or another league. And right now I heard that maybe the coaches are saying you have to play instructional, or is it not an option? I've not heard.
I don't really know. I would think that it would be under the best interest for both the coaching staff and the players to play together, because you get used to everybody playing in that one familiar position. I know last year, especially with Ed Noddle and Andy Rice coming in as first-year coaches, it really gave them an opportunity to get to know their players, to see what they had coming back for the next year. And I think that once kids get accustomed to playing certain positions with certain players, I think especially around the middle of the infield, shortstop and second base, working together through the summer, getting ready for the next season is good. 2 balls and a strike here to Jason Engelbrecht. He takes a look at strike 2. Strike zone down low with this guy. He's very consistent, though, and that's really the only thing that you can ask for from an umpire. If he calls it there the first inning, you got to call it there in the 7th. Right off the glove of Brian Sukas in the right place, off a deflection on a liner. Engelbrecht with his speed takes a big turn at second. It's a 1-out double. Just a liner to Sukas, who could not hold on, Doug. And you saw he was going to his right just a little bit. It appeared that he had the ball. I don't know if he took his eye off it for just a minute to get a look at where Engelbrecht was. It was a line drive, just a little bit slow, maybe breaking towards the bag, and just glanced off of his glove inning out into foul territory down the left field line. Here against Jamie Carroll, the shortstop. Singled his last time up back in that first inning. Don Kelly on deck. So there's one away, bottom half of the third, and right back at you comes Newburgh Kapperman, trailing 2-0, but one in scoring position. Engelbrecht's out by 4. That one's fouled back, 0-1 to Jamie Carroll. A real good opportunity here for Newburgh, too, for a hit-and-run situation. You've got Carroll at the plate. More than likely will be looking for something on the outside part of the plate, getting it to the right side of the infield to advance Engelbrecht over to third. But if he should find a hole, and you can see that there is a pretty big hole between first and second right now. 0-1, trying to bunt his way aboard. 0-2. We'll probably not try that again. But he could. He's got the bat control, and I think he knows the strike zone well enough to know if it's going to be a pitch that he can lay down for a base hit. 0-2 to Jamie Carroll. Again, Kelly on deck. Engelbrecht now out by 3.5 down at second. Evansville Pate up by a score of 2-0. Again, bottom half of the third inning. Scheduled to go 9. Down goes Jamie Carroll. Second strikeout for Hines. There's 2 away. And that is a big out. Now you've got 2 out. It's going to take a base hit to get that run home. Don Kelly 0 for 1 flew out to Hoskins out in center field back in the first. Kelly, then McBride. But 2 away. It's in the best interest right now of Hines to take care of Kelly with one in the scoring position. We know what Gator can do. That home run back, I'd say about 3 weeks ago, we were out here before, helped spark that comeback for Newburgh Kapperman. 16-15 in 4 hours. And just shows you that you can never give up on a ball club like that. They were down 11-1 after 3 innings. They really came together as a team and started a comeback, and Gator was a big part of that with that home run. 0-1 here, Don Kelly. Batters know they have to swing low or down below on that outside corner. That is a strike here.
Pitcher almost missed that one.
As long as you're consistent. Call it both ways. First inning through the 9th. 1 down low. Engelbrecht thoughts of going. Bluffed out at second. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Don Kelly. And you learn as an umpire early on that no matter what you call, you're going to make somebody mad. Ball strike, safe out. 1-1. You're going to try umpire next year,
Never. You couldn't pay me $200 to go and umpire. One on the outside. Oh, we hear it enough from callers.
3 balls.
Just on the televised games. Can you imagine being an umpire? Well, I guess you can.
I am.
2 balls and a strike here to Don Kelly. Engelbrecht out by 4 down at second, 2 away. And trailing 2-0 here, Kapperman. 3-1 now from Adam Hines. When he's wild, he's high. That has been his problem so far tonight. He's allowed 1 walk, that coming to McCauley back in the 2nd inning, but has missed on a number of pitches. Went 3-2 to Kelly the last time he was up. Now has worked the count here to 3-1. Engelbrecht again out by 5. 3-1 pitch, 3-2. Third time now Adam Hines has had the count full. No breeze to talk about. Actually, not a bad summer night compared to what we've had.
It has kind of cooled off. 2 weeks ago we had almost perfect weather, and then last week the hot, humid summer of Evansville hit.
Rain in the forecast tonight. Actually, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow and through Friday morning. Here's one to center field. Adrian Hoskins almost misjudged it. Backed up it in time. Well, 370 feet away on the last. We head to the top half of the fourth inning. 2-0. Evansville, Eugene Pate. It's American Legion Baseball on WAZ TV 52.
Purchasing a new roof is a major decision that affects the performance, value, and the beauty of your home. The professionals at Tri-State Roofing, with their knowledge and skill, have earned the reputation of installing quality roofing for 20 years. And with over 75 years of combined experience, Tri-State Roofing can build a new roof or repair your old one with rubber, built-up, or shingle roofing for both commercial and residential buildings. Your roof does more than just cover your property. It protects your family and valuable possessions. Call Tri-State Roofing at 422-5779.
This week's mission. The force is called in to hunt an international assassin.
He first surfaced as one of the more brutal members of Erniker's elite guard.
And this cold-blooded killer is loaded with enough firepower to take out an army. But this time, the force will be ready with a few tricks of their own.
Right on the money.
On the next Lightning Force.
Back out at Castle High School with Doug Emig. I'm Darren Smith. Top half of the fourth inning, Sean Merkel, Jason Craddock, and Chris McCutcheon.
Sean 0 for 1 flew out to left fielder Don Kelly back in the second inning. As mentioned before, his average coming in .292.
First here rips it to right field. Leadoff single for Sean Merkel. Always liked his bat.
Probably one of the better eyes in the city. He's always going to make contact. We mentioned very rarely does he strike out. Both he and Robbie Kent among the better ones when you look down the lineup. Also Ryan Barrett, who is not in the starting lineup tonight. And I think probably has something to do with Mr. Merkel over there at Memorial.
And sometimes that works not in your favor, Doug, when your father's the head coach.
Well, it's definitely a disadvantage because you really have to, I think, apply yourself a little bit harder. Your coach is going to be your dad, so obviously he wants you to do well, but he might make it just a little bit tougher for you to get into that starting lineup.
And you can leave an angry coach at the baseball field, but you have to drive home with him and eat supper with him later on that night. Isn't always easy. But he did very, very well with Memorial. Upstairs, moving way over here, Gator McBride, 2 away. He also, by the way, has that speed.
Hit and run was on that time. We saw Sean break from first base. Got about 3/4 of the way, realized the ball was in the air. And again, as Darren said, the speed of McBride and able to get over to that left center field area and with ease made it look like an easy catch.
Chris McCutcheon here, the right fielder. Brucken, Bochting, Hines to round it down a second time for Pate. They're back in action tomorrow night, 7:30 at Bosse Field. We're on the air at 10:30. Out by 4 is Merkel. Again, taking a ride, also moving McBride and Tice over. And that one belongs to Tom Tice. Good stuff there by Tommy.
A lot of balls in the air tonight so far, and I think the pitchers are keeping the ball up a little bit in the strike zone, resulting in the fly balls. But when you've got an outfield like this, Kelly, McBride, and Tice, and then you flip your program over.
That is a solid outfield.
You've got Merkel, who we haven't really seen in left field yet tonight. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Hoskins in center, and then McCutcheon in right. They're going to get to a lot of balls that most outfielders couldn't.
So there's 2 away. Now by 3 steps. Sean Merkel over at first. Thought maybe he had at least second on the last. Nice job again by Tom Tice. Randy Brucken, Bochting, Hines. Again to go down a second time. Top half of the fourth inning, 2-0. Evansville, Eugene Pate. Tried to improve to 20-4. This one knocked out of play. 0-1 here.
Aggressive base running really from both clubs so far. That time Merkel off again on the season. 3 stolen bases. We mentioned Hoskins leads the team with 21. Sukas is second with 15.
So on the count to Brucken. Always impressed with Brucken's size. Built like a ball player.
And and I think has really worked hard on his defense. Has always been a good hitter, and being a left-handed first baseman helps out a lot, and I think that with a lot of work and determination, he has made himself into a real good first baseman.
0-1. This one also taking a ride to right field and into the glove of Tom Tice. 2 for Tom. We send it to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 2-0 Evansville, Eugene Pate. You're watching American Legion Baseball on Evansville's own WAZ TV 52.
It's grass mowing time again. And as usual, Snapper leads the field with Snapper walk mowers from $199.95 and Snapper electric start riders from $1299.95. All you really need to know about lawn mowing is Snapper. And all you need to know about Snapper is Muth's. That's Muth's Outdoor Power Equipment, 300 North Congress, right across from the kids' room. And remember, when you get your new Snapper home, all we ask is that you take good care of our babies.
Kathy, you must always remember that hitting is not acceptable. You're bigger, you're stronger. Don't hit. Whenever you feel yourself getting angry, you take time out. You know what time out is. You cool off, and keep yourself from doing something you're gonna be sorry for later. Do you understand?
Well, do you? Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Just a perfect baseball night on this Wednesday late night with Doug Emick. I'm Darren Smith. We're in Newburgh, or Paradise, Castle High School. Bottom half of the 4th inning. 2-0 Evansville, Eugene Pate.
Yeah, for Capperman, 4, 5, 6, McBride, Wilson, and Tice.
Not a bad 3 to lead things, and kind of got things going there momentarily with Engelbrecht back there in the 3rd. Impressed with the hitting, but more so, or lately, with the pitching, which was something to be appreciated earlier in the season.
With that marathon game we had.
And there were a couple of them.
I was going to say, it wasn't just the Funkhauser-Newburgh game. You look back, and the one that comes to mind, a Carmi ball game that eventually ended up about 3.5 hours long with 13 walks. I think the pitchers, once the hot weather started to hit, really got back into the groove.
1 ball and 1 strike here to Gator McBride. One more year with John T. Logan. He'll try again to go to the Junior College World Series. Went upstairs, fouled back out of play. Craddock thought maybe he had it, but it is indeed out of play. It's John H., isn't it?
John A.
John A., I'm sorry.
T-H-A.
They don't use that middle initial much anyway.
One of those 26 letters.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Where did I get T from?
Where do you get a lot of the things you say from?
1 and 2 to Gator McBride. Bottom half of the 4th, and Newburgh trailing by a score of 2-0. Down goes the Gator.
Big pitch right there, breaking pitch on the inside part of the plate, right around the knees. And I think probably looking for a fastball in that situation. 1-2 count, maybe something up a little bit to try to go after. And Adam came in and did a good job right there with a breaking pitch.
Stan Wilson, the catcher, followed by Tice. McCauley, Huff, and Lynch to go down a second time for Newburgh Capperman.
And this is a part of the game right now, I think, where Adam is really starting to hit his stride. It sometimes takes an inning or two before you really get accustomed to the mound out there, really get comfortable with your pitching style. And you can see right now not struggling at all with his pitch location. 1
down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Wilson coming in at 220 batting average. And again, one that's better than his numbers. Slow roller here. Sometimes these are trouble. Have to barehand it here. They're trouble.
Well, with the infield playing back because of the power of Wilson, it looked like he hit that one right off the end of the bat. You've got some high grass area on the infield. No chance at all for Hines to field that ball. It had to be the second baseman, Bochting. And Jim came in as quick as he could, got to the ball, but by the time he got there, Wilson was already at first.
Wilson, for his size, has that speed. Impressive speed from Wilson. Here's Tom Tice.
Tom 0 for 1, flew out to Hoskins in center field back in the 2nd. A good opportunity here maybe for Newburgh to try a hit and run situation with the speed of Wilson and also the good bat of Tice.
This one right now, maybe a chance to turn two. Robbie Kent goes to Bochting. Bochting to Brucken is in time. They turn the double play. We head to the top half of the 5th inning. Evansville, Eugene, Pate, Newburgh, Gabbard, American Legion Baseball on WAZ TV 52.
Without your seatbelt on, cause if you do, you get the summertime blues. You better watch it now.
On Karaoke Showcase, we searched high and low for America's best.
You just keep on acting like a fool.
And most outrageous karaoke singers. Join host John Bowman.
What do you think your mother's singing, Jamie?
For the next Karaoke Showcase.
Moved the top half of the 5th inning with Doug Emig. I'm Duran Smith, summer of '92, American Legion Baseball.
And the boys are getting a little bit better. A very good job by both pitchers so far, Lynch and Adam Hines. Due up here for Pate in the top half of the 5th, Bochting, Hines, and Hoskins.
Take a look at those in attendance tonight. UE football coach Robin Cooper taking in some baseball on this evening, and football season, at least the training camps, not too far away.
Taking probably his last few weeks to get out and enjoy all the summer activities before the gridiron starts up. Really looking forward to their season this year. They had such a good season last year under the first year under Cooper. A lot of locals. Giving an opportunity for a lot of the local athletes to continue their football career at a college level. And I think people really got excited last year and are looking for a pretty good season this year.
Jim Bochting here to lead things off, top half of the 5th inning. Adam Hines, and again, Adrian Hoskins went out of play. Take a look at UE football this year, and they still got that Dayton on there, who's just simply a powerhouse.
Probably can just throw that one aside. I mean, it's good experience, and I think probably the kids go in knowing that they are going to face a very good ball club and not really expect a whole lot as far as maybe a victory or a close game, but to go up against somebody like that, see how their offense and defense works, really prepares them for their other regular season ball games.
It's not like quite playing Tusculum or Lambooth. 2 balls and a strike. Jim Bochting getting out of play, 2-2 the count.
One more, Jimmy.
Hines again for a pitcher and batting 9th. It's now 5 for 16 here in the '92 summer season. 2-2 pitch, getting foul territory, third base side. Two and two to Hines.
Jim 1 for 1 tonight, had an infield single just out of the reach of B.J. Hupp, the third baseman, back in the 3rd inning.
Lots foul on the third base side here, so we'll keep it 2-2, and this gets again Lynch to throw a little bit more.
And you mentioned that it's not really a hot night. Not a whole lot of breeze to talk about, but the temperature has kind of calmed down. Talking about lower 70s for an overnight low tonight, so it's a very good ball game for a pitcher. You're going to stay warm out there, but you're not really going to overheat.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Bochting takes a look at one down low, and some of the Newburgh fans wanting that one. That was inside low, Doug.
Just missed on the inside part of the plate.
3 balls and 2 strikes. In a controversy down below. This one taken to the infield. Move over. Jamie Carroll. And it is in time to Terry McCauley. There's one away.
Both he and Robbie Kent have good arms. I think Jamie's might be a little bit stronger. Robbie's got that quicker release. But anytime you see him field the ball anywhere around that shortstop area, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get a good throw off and get him at first.
Who's better, Doug, Carroll or Kent? Latest, I want to say poll, but what we saw on the paper a couple of weeks ago had Carroll better than Kent. A lot of people disagreeing. Both outstanding.
Yes.
Who's better?
Well, you answer that first.
I've already said Robbie Kent.
I would say as far as overall offensive and defensive, with everything, speed, power for the extra base hits, Robbie has an edge. He's a little bit bigger. Not taking away really anything from Jamie.
Oh, no, he's outstanding.
You can look at the season that he had.
That's it, Jimmy.
2 balls and a strike here to Adam Hines. Oh, it's tough to pick an all-star team.
Always trying to create that controversy.
Oh, not me. No, we picked one a couple of years ago. And, you know, you can probably put 3 and 4 people in a position. We had a call on Sports Talk a couple of weeks ago saying Robbie Kent was the best shortstop in the state of Indiana. Now, you can't really make that statement without seeing the entire state of Indiana.
All the other shortstops.
You can assume.
I would say we've got 2 of the best in the state. And it would be pretty hard to find somebody better.
2 balls and 2 strikes right there to Jamie Carroll. And there's 2 away.
Trying to show us he can do as much as Robbie out there. 2 down brings up the leadoff hitter, Adrian Hoskins. 0 for 1, drew a walk and scored his last time up back in the 3rd.
Suk is on deck, but quickly 2 away. Game moving quickly already. Top half of the 5th inning. Right now, Pate has the edge. They're up by a score of 2-0. This is scheduled to go 9. 9 tomorrow night at Bosse Field. Eugene, Pate, and Rockport. First here to Hoskins. Pate will also be on the air late night Sunday night over in Jasper. Game 1 of that 2-game series on Sunday night. Funkhouse returns later next week.
Probably a little revenge factor on the Jasper side.
One that hit Hoskins, looked like in the upper part of his arm, maybe the shoulder. He's on, hit by a pitch. First hit by a pitch. 1 on, 2 out.
Brings up Brian Zukas, the 3rd baseman, 1 for 2. Responsible for the 2 Pate runs so far with a 2 RBI double back in the 3rd.
Struck out back in that first. Robbie Kent on deck. Like this field a lot.
They do a good job, and you can see with the grass infield that more times than not has a good impact as far as the infielder.
That took a weird hop. Nice play by Jamie Carroll, like we say, one of the best. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Newburgh and Evansville. Peyton Kapperman, we're back with more American Legion Baseball on WAZ TV 52.
Have you been put in charge of this year's company picnic, or is it your turn to host the upcoming family reunion? Well, Mark's Barbecue can take all the work and worry out of your next get-together. Mark's Barbecue caters events of all sizes with the best in old-fashioned barbecue cuisine, like barbecued pork, chicken, or ribs. We'll even slow roast your pig. Mark's Barbecue also specializes in cheese and barbecued meat trays and homemade pies. So remember, when it comes to your catering needs, give Mark's Barbecue a call. We deliver satisfaction.
Sometimes you wonder how you ever made it. The danger.
You move it, hairback!
The insanity.
This way, ladies. Your accommodations are ready.
Captain wants to see you both in the and just when you think you've seen it all, that's when it's just getting good.
Let's be careful out there.
Bottom of 5, 2-0. Evansville, Eugene Pate.
We're just flying on by. 7, 8, 9 due up for Newburgh here in the bottom half. Macaulay Huff and pitcher Jim Lynch.
Remind this broadcast authorized and produced solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of WAZ TV 52 is prohibited. Macaulay Huff and Lynch, as mentioned. Not a bad 7, 8, and 9. But down 2-0 is Newburgh Kapperman. Again, they came in 14-7, take on Ferdinand right here Friday night.
Terry drew a 2-out walk back in the 2nd inning, left stranded at 2nd. After the first 2 popped out, Hines got B.J. Huff to strike out to get out of the inning.
2-0 here to Terry Macaulay.
Good on, Terry.
Brother John hoping for the best for him.
Got off to a good start and then kind of hit a rocky spot where he gave up some runs. But I'm sure that once he gets accustomed to the A's organization,
Okay, Terry, be ready.
talking with his dad, they are really treating him well. They are concerned more with instructing him rather than criticizing him. If he makes a mistake, they don't go out and chew him out. They ask him why he did it and try to correct him so that it doesn't happen again.
Lead-off walk here to Terry McCauley, and with John McCauley,
base runners.
He knows he has this stuff, and he leaves college, or the college ranks, you know, I guess the proverbial star, and it's sometimes tough, not really to start over, but to be a small fish in a big pond all over again.
And I think that John is mentally tough enough to realize that the situation he's going to be in, you're going to have a lot of good ball players around you. If they weren't good, they wouldn't have got drafted, obviously. And I think that he knows that in due time, he's going to get his chance to shine.
Terry McCauley heading to Western Kentucky. Your alma mater, if I'm not mistaken.
The mighty Hilltoppers.
This one taken out of play.
Oh, shoot.
Got 1 ball and 1 strike here.
That job was just stayed in.
B.J. Huff will be back next year for the Castle Knights. Talk about one who's going to be in the top 3 hitting next year if he stays healthy.
Very possibly, and I'm sure that Chuck Hawkins is looking. The season they had this year, not a typical Castle season.
They was a team a lot better than the record also, the Knights.
You really look at the way baseball was played around the city this year, with the exception of Memorial. Everybody else was pretty much right around 500, and I think that really tells you 2 things. The level of baseball is really starting to even out, and teams are not as dominant as they once were before.
The best Memorial, the most improved Bossy. A team that could beat you on any given night, maybe Wright or Castle.
You got to throw in North there too with their pitching staff, and Craddock behind the plate. You've got Hines that can play 2 different positions. Brucken was over at first base. Anybody on any given night could have maybe put together a 15 or 20 game winning season.
Harrison in modern day, best Jekyll and Hyde act during the regular season. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and trying to commit him on the outside. We'll have him, or did he get a piece of it? He's gone.
Pitch went down in the dirt, and with less than 2 out, first base occupied. The batter cannot try to advance to first base, so went down on a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 in the evening for Adam Hines brings up the pitcher Jim Lynch.
We've gone through twice now for Newburgh. There's 1 away. McCauley on the leadoff walk is out by 4 steps over at first base. 2-0. Pate. But Kaufman has threatened a little bit each inning. A team that just does not die, ever.
We saw a good example of that in our Funkhauser game earlier this year. And right now, as we saw last inning, Adam really coming in and throwing some good strikes.
0-2.
Push it all the way, Jimmy.
Pitcher versus pitcher here. Both bat 9th in the lineup. Foul that one back. Keep the count. 0-2. Again, the breeze has not been a factor. Flag has been dead in center field throughout the evening. 0-2 pitch. Just missing on the outside.
Good spot for that pitch right there. 0-2, you don't want to come in and give something fat, even with the pitcher at the plate. You want to work those corners, try to get that called 3rd strike.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing before it got to Craddock that time, so Hines losing something on the last 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Jim Lynch.
I think that last pitch, a breaking pitch, just kind of got loose in his hand and really didn't have a good grasp on it. Hit out in front of the plate. Good defensive catcher in Jason Craddock got his body in front of it to knock it down.
2-2 pitch. Get lifted upstairs. Foul territory. Craddock also moving over. That belongs to him, and there's 2 away. Had to call off Randy Brucken. 2 down with still McCauley at first.
Okay, Jason.
Back to the top of the order, and Jason Engelbrecht, 1 for 2 last time up, had a double to left field just off the glove of 3rd baseman Brian Zukas.
And here's another with an awful lot of God-given speed.
Speed, and he's got that second knowledge, I think, just pure aggressiveness. He is a very tough competitor. He's going to go out and give 100% each and every time.
Adrian Hoskins really didn't even have to move. We go to the top half of the 6th inning, 2-0. Evansville, Eugene. Pate, you're watching American Legion Baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
In 1952, Butch Rabin opened the first Rabin Tire Store, starting a tradition of quality tires and great service. Today, more folks buy tires from Butch's 7 Sons than anyone else in the tri-state. And they say thank you with a big 40th anniversary celebration. Save on all of Rabin's best-selling tires. And now, when you buy 3 Goodyear Invicta GL radials, you get the 4th tire free. Celebrate 40 years of quality tires and service at all Rabin Tire locations.
After dating the guy forever, you think I could tell him anything. Why is this so hard? I'm really scared.
It takes a lot of guts to tell someone he's too drunk to drive. But you can do it. Just say it. Because if you don't, there may be nothing left to say.
Kevin, I'm gonna drive.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
I'm Duran Smith with Doug Emig back out at Castle High School. Top half of the 6th inning. Eugene Pate up by 2.
And I'm Doug Emig with Darren Smith. Robbie Kent, Sean Merkel, Jason Craddock. 3, 4, and 5 due up here for Pate in the top half of the 6th.
2 Memorials and a North.
I always wanted to do that.
All you have to do is
Emig with
ask.
Darren Smith.
I guess you want to say they're coming back a little bit later?
Yeah, we'll see how
easy to work with. Whatever you want, Doug. It was your birthday yesterday.
I'll remember that. Yeah, it was.
What are you, 40?
Not quite. Close.
Nothing at 1 here to Robbie Kent. It's actually a pretty big summer for you, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that.
A lot going on. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Umpiring, telecast,
marriage,
birthday, and yes, the most important.
2 more weeks of freedom for Doug Emig. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
People think I'm crazy, but I'm ready. Looking forward to it.
30 years ties the knot. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Robbie Kent. One got a bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Kent. Merkel on deck, top half of the 6th inning. You're just joining us. A speedy game. And paid up by that score of 2-0. Really not missing by much here is Jim Lynch. He's down 2-0, and he's thrown a lot, but he's thrown good.
And I think right now he might be a little bit disgusted with himself after getting ahead of the count like that. Just missed with that 1-2 pitch. And then to come back and throw 2 more out of the strike zone. You can see right now with his head down, kind of walking around out there. He's going to have to take a deep breath, get back in here, and try to attack this next hitter. Left fielder Sean Merkel, and we've got a pinch hitter. Looks like Matt Swanson's going to be hitting for Merkel.
So our first look at Mr. Swanson tonight. You take a look at Lynch. Under the guidance of Andy Rice, he should be one of the top names coming out of Harrison next year on that hill.
Well, that's an advantage that he has because Andy was such a good pitcher in his high school days, went on to play collegiate ball down at Murray State. And I think when you have a coach like that, not necessarily a head coach, but somebody around that knows the game of pitching. You look at Okie Pryor over at Wrights. They've got that college experience. They can really relate to the kids about what it takes in certain situations, what type of pitch to throw, and how to approach different hitters.
Matt Swanson, Craddock on deck. Runner goes here. Kent, boy, does he have that speed. Throw looked a bit off, did not get him. Kent underneath the tag, and I talked about the speed of Robbie Kent.
And it looked like maybe a communication problem right there between the second baseman Engelbrecht and the shortstop Carroll. Nobody was really over covering the bag. With Swanson scoring around a bunt, each had their own responsibilities. Jason moving over to cover second base, and the throw from Wilson was a good throw, but it, I think, allowed Robbie to just get underneath the tag from Carroll.
Nothing at 1 here to Swanson. In Craddock on deck, Kent out by 3 steps. Scoring position, he's down at second. Nobody out here, top half of this 6th inning. Both teams, great ability to score runs. Last night, 3 hitters, 7-0 over Tell City. Matt Elpers was on the hill. I imagine we'll see Elpers one of 2 games in Jasper on Sunday.
Yeah, you own him 5.
Feller is also starting to pitch here with Pate.
Similar to what we saw with Memorial, they have got a very good pitching staff. Adam Hines, who was with them the full season, leads the club 5-0. Elpers and Feller, Kenny Bowles right behind those guys with 3-0 records. And you look at Ambrose, 2-1. Ryan Barrett has also picked up a victory.
1 down low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Got him, Jimmy. Let's
To Matt Swanson, batting for Sean Merkel, the left fielder.
take your time, Jimmy.
Adrian Hoskins has even appeared on the mound this year. 0-1 record, a 2.00 ERA in 7 innings.
1-2 pitch. There goes Robbie Kent, hit and run on. He'll have to go back. Foul territory. Over moving. Terry McCauley. You know who I was impressed with on the hill a couple of weeks ago? We talked about that marathon game, was Tom Tice.
Came in and I think really started to turn things around when Newburgh started that comeback. He held Funkhauser basically scoreless after they amounted a number of runs early in the ball game, took that big lead. Came in from his right field position, really has not had a lot of experience on the mound, especially this year, and did a fine job for Joe Lisson Company.
I wonder if Merkel will use him next year. Returns as a senior next year on the Tigers.
With the loss of the pitching staff, you've got Ambrose coming back. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he did not become maybe that 3rd or 4th man in the rotation.
Ambrose automatically becomes number 1. They've got a dude by the name of Wagner who's coming up also.
You look to the reserve level as well, and what a season Coach Dave Hayden had, winning the SIAC Reserve Championship, which we aired right here on TV 52.
Wrights also has a lot of good ones coming up. So next year shall be interesting. 0-1 there on the outside. Getting a lot of football questions now, with camps going to begin in about a month's time. I like Harrison early.
Really have to wait and see. You can really go just by what we saw last year and knowing who's going to be back from last year's team. And I think it'll be interesting early in the season to see some of the younger players come up that have really worked hard during the offseason, hitting the weights. The quarterbacks coming up. Mater Dei should have a very interesting situation out there.
They've got 3 very good ones. We're all behind Gable last year. So again, they'll be potent. Base hit here to center field. In comes Gator McBride. McBride there bobbles. Robbie Kent will score 3-0. Evansville, Eugene Pate.
And we talked about the hitting of Jason Craddock, a good example right there. A pitch, 2-1 count, kind of up in the strike zone, but right where he wanted it, took it right back up the middle. And with the speed of Robbie, I think he was going to try to score either way. Maybe a little bit of bobble out there by McBride, just trying to sneak a peek to see where Robbie was as he tried to field it.
A little bit.
Here is Chris McCutcheon. And already runner going. This one into the glove. Gator McBride, and he may get 2 out of this one. That's just, poor base running, Doug Emigan.
I don't know that Jason really knew how many outs there were. He was off with the pitch, got all the way to the second base, realized where the ball was going, and didn't even try to make an attempt back.
We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. 3-0. Evansville, Eugene Pate. This is American Legion Baseball on WAZ TV 52.
Loved ones suffering from substance abuse can lead to a dead end. A spouse abusing alcohol can leave you with no outlet. Dealing with a disturbed or hyperactive child can be devastating. There is somewhere to turn. 1-800-467-4174. A 24-hour helpline staffed by a trained therapist who can help. A friend who's always there for you when you have nowhere to turn. Directions: 1-800-467-4174. Give us a call.
This is you and this is me.
Last year, thousands of innocent children were caught in the crossfire of violent crime. How much longer will you let this go on? Call this number now. We'll send you information on how you can protect your children from crime in your neighborhood. Together, we will take a bite out of crime.
We move to the bottom half of the 6th inning with Doug Emig. I'm Duran Smith. Another one for Evansville Pate. They're up by a score of 3-0.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, Carroll, Kelly, and McBride, 2, 3, and 4 due up here for Newburgh Capperman.
Carroll last time striking out here to Adam Hines. Grabbed himself a single back in.
Hits. Carroll got a single back in the 1st inning, a double by Engelbrecht back in the 3rd, and then an infield single by Wilson in the 4th. Has done a pretty good job with 2, 3, and 4 so far.
Take a look at the coaching this year, Doug. A first-year head coaching job for Mike Pate.
Well, Mike has been around baseball for a number of years, spent some time professionally in the Cincinnati Reds organization, has been a big part of Jim Brownlee's program out at the University of Evansville as a pitching coach. And I think that the opportunity was there. With Jim not really having a lot of time to devote to it, he spent the time last year as the head coach. Mike was asked if he could step in and handle it, and since that time has also been a part of Robin Cooper's football staff.
On the other side, of course, also some professional baseball experience. A little bit older, Joe Liss.
Well, Joe spent a number of years in the major leagues, was signed actually back in 1964. Was a part of the championship team down in Evansville when the Triplets were in town in '79.
He's going to chop her down to Mr. Sukas, but I say foul here. Count 0-2 here.
Getting a good idea of what the fans think about the umpiring tonight.
Got her crowd mic way down below. 0-2 again, the count.
Jamie 1 for 2. Single back in the 1st inning, a strikeout victim back in the 3rd. 1 of 4 tonight for Adam.
This is probably their most potent. Actually, the first 4, Engelbrecht, Carroll, Kelly, McBride. And a very strong 9, a very strong 9. Here's the bulk right here.
This is where most of the damage is going to be done. Obviously, you need the other hitters to go along, kind of keep the thing going. When you get the first 2 on base and you've got 3, 4, 5 due up next to get those guys across. And then you have to have some type of stability on down the line. And when you look 1 through 9, Macaulay comes in 326 on the season, a big RBI guy. He's hitting 7th.
A ball and 2 strikes here to Jamie Carroll, slower 6th inning. Again, Pate scoring 1 in the top half of the 6th. They're up by a score of 3-0. Here's a ripper again down to 3rd. Brian Sukas. Brucken there had to jump upstairs, and it was not in time. A nice job, though, by Randy Brucken to save that one.
We talked about his defense earlier, and that time, after 2 or 3 foul balls down the 3rd baseline, Jamie got one that stayed in fair. The speed enabled him to get down the baseline real quick, and Brian Zukas had to hurry his throw a little bit up in the air and pulled Randy off the bag. Tried to come back down and make a swipe tag, just couldn't get it.
Here's Donnie Kelly, 0 for 2 both times, upstairs to Hoskins in center field, 1st and 3rd. Nobody out, 1 on at 1st. That's Carroll now, starting to move out by 4 steps. So right back at you again comes Newburgh. Leader on. McBride is on deck. And again, check back over there at first base.
A 3-run lead, Adam, really doesn't need to work so much on keeping Carroll close. That run is not going to do a lot. The main damage is going to come right here at the plate with Kelly, so he needs to concentrate there.
On the outside corner there. They'll give him that one. Fans still buzzing about it, but it's been there all night.
Terrible. Donnie, come on.
0-1 here to Don Kelly.
Get him, Joe!
Out by 4 steps, Carroll.
Come on, Donnie.
Kelly steps back in there.
Terrible call.
Newburgh again trying to advance to 15-7. It's Ferdinand on Friday night. Into the weekend, they will take on Owensboro. Again, that is right here in Tell City. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, actually, for Newburgh. They're back with Pate at Bosse Field on the 22nd, Rockport on the 23rd. and the very spectacular Indianapolis Bulls, an all-star team from Indy and actually all over the state of Indiana later on the month. This one to center field. It'll be first and second here for Newburgh Kapperman. I told you they were deadly, and look who comes to the plate.
Don Kelly, you can't really keep him hitless very many times, and right there, 1-1 count. Adam might have come in with a pitch a little bit up in the strike zone. Don took advantage of that now. First and second, nobody out, and the dangerous Gator McBride at the plate.
Well, the guy that can do it with one swing of the bat has tied this ball game up. Down 3-0 Newburgh. Gator McBride 8 home runs so far in the season, including one right here on TV 52. Again, bats around 450. Clean up Gator McBride. First and second here for Newburgh, and here they come. This one taking off, and it is backing up, and it is gone! That is home run number 9 for Gator McBride. Speak of the devil, he does it again.
And it was a pretty good pitch from Adam, too. It was a fastball down in the strike zone. We talk about the quickness of the hands of McBride. It enabled him to get that bat around real quick. And what was a 3-0 lead for Pate is now tied at 3. And Mike Gady, the head coach, out to more or less settle Adam down right now, trying to make him forget about that. Okay, we've got a brand new ball game here. Let's try to get back into it.
Gator McBride wasted no time, and Joe Liss is so high on Gator McBride, telling me before the game he is one of the best players in Indiana.
A pretty strong statement to make, but you look at the season that Gator's had, both over at Logan and coming here to the American Legion season, you wouldn't think that somebody that small of stature would be able to get the power that he does.
Stan Wilson with his speed is beat on the last. Finally, there's one away after the 3-run homer by Gator McBride, tying the game up at 3 in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Come on, Tommy.
Brings up the right fielder, Tom Tice. Tom 0 for 2, flew out to center field back in the 2nd inning. Grounded into a double play to get out of the inning back in the 4th.
So Wilson goes down 1-3. Terry McCauley on deck. Damage done here, bottom half of the 6th inning. First to Tice, again a bit high from Adam Hines.
I got another last.
Again, Gady going right out to talk to Adam. Mike has been in that position before. Things going your way, one swing of the bat ties the ball game, Doug.
And I think, as we talked about before, when you've got a coach that has been in that situation, it really helps. Not so much to go out and really chew them out, but to make them realize, okay, we're going to make mistakes. You threw a pretty good pitch. It was just a real good hit by McBride. We're tied now at 3. Let's get back in this. Pitch the way you were before that.
Well, laid the bunt down. Didn't work. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Tom Tice. Again, McCauley is on deck. B.J. Huff, Jim Lynch will take us down a 3rd time here for Newburgh Kapperman. Game tied at 3 on a 3-run homer by Gator McBride moments ago. Nice shot. Better than 400 feet to the power alley. On the left side, 3 balls and 2 strikes here from Hines. No breeze to help that homer out. All muscle by McBride. 1 down low. Good speed and power on deck with McCauley. 3-2 from Hines. And again, Hines has lost a little something here. Home run has to bother him, but even beforehand, he gave up back-to-back singles.
Well, Pate has got left-hander Kenny Bowles down in the bullpen right now, warming up in case Adam cannot get out of this. He's got 1 out now. Runner at first base brings up Terry McCauley. He's been on base twice, both times with walks.
Huff moves to the on-deck circles. Kapperman looking to quickly take the lead here. Game tied at 3, just 1 away. And another ball by Adam Hines. You saw it down low on the outside.
And it wouldn't surprise me, with Mike already making 1 trip to the mound, to see catcher Jason Craddock go out to try to settle him down a little bit, also give Bowles some time down there in the bullpen.
That helps out. 1 ball, 1 strike now from Hines. Check Tom Tice will slowly move out over there from first. He's now out by 5 at first. And he check him back here. Count remains 1-1 here to Terry McCauley.
Pretty good lead right there by Tom T. You could see if that throw might have been a little bit closer to the bag, down near the left-handed glove there of Randy Brucken, the first baseman, he might have been able to apply the tag.
One that got away from Craddock, kept it down in front of him. So the base runner does not move. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Terry McCauley.
And I think Terry tried to check his swing there and actually got a piece of that ball, was the reason that it carried off into foul territory.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. Here's the arm of Craddock. First time tonight. The ball is into the outfield. So over moves Adrian Hoskins. And 90 feet away is Tom Tice.
Get him, Brad.
Right there, the pitch was inside, and McCauley elected to take it, not really protecting the runner, Tice. And Craddock came up throwing to the first base side of second base. Second baseman Jim Bochting unable to come up with it. And a very alert Tom Tice saw that it got into the outfield, motor over to third.
So now all McCauley has to do is lift it to the outfield to score Tom Tice, and Newburgh will have taken the lead. There's one high, and a count 3-2 now to Terry McCauley.
And this is going to be a big batter right here. Should he walk Terry, bring up Huff. I don't know that Mike will be able to go much longer with him. You'll have 1 out, possible double play to get out of the inning, but the way Adam's struggling right now, things are just not there.
Reach for that one. Got the barehanded here. Adam Hines over at first, and it's not in time. Bobbled, actually, by Randy Brucken. So it's first and third now for Newburgh Kapperman.
Tough play right there by Adam. He had to field it barehanded, almost all in one motion. As soon as he picked it up, he had to throw it because it was not hit that hard. And McCauley's got some pretty good speed as well for being a big guy. Ball was down in the dirt. Brucken brought it up, lost control of it actually, and when he was bobbling it, McCauley crossed the bag, so he's safe.
First and third, still 1 away. And there again is 1 high, and Hines has done this throughout the evening, missed high.
And I say this is going to be the big batter right here, B.J. Huff, the third baseman. Strikeout victim twice, back in the second, again in the fifth. If Adam does not get him here, we might see Bowles come in.
Count quickly becomes 1 ball and 1 strike here. 1 away, bottom half of the 6th inning. Game tied at 3. 90 feet away, Tice. Over at first, McCauley. Lynch awaits on deck. They'll bat it through 3 times. Through 6. 1-1 pitch. Maybe a double play to get out of it. Robbie Kent here, going to tag it himself, try to turn the double play himself, and Evansville Pate gets out of it. But damage done here, a 3-run homer by Gator McBride. We head to the top half of the 7th inning, tied at 3. American Legion Baseball, right here on TV 52.
It used to be that car buyers had 2 choices. The expensive new car with that troubling initial new car depreciation, and the traditional used car with high mileage and suspect condition. Now there's the Smart Cars alternative. It has extremely low mileage, a majority of the manufacturer's warranty, no new car depreciation, and it comes in virtually every make and model. Now isn't it time you got really smart?
Smart Cars, only at Kenny Kent Northside, Diamond and Heidelbach.
Purchasing a new roof is a major decision that affects the performance, value, and the beauty of your home. The professionals at Tri-State Roofing, with their knowledge and skill, have earned the reputation of installing quality roofing for 20 years. And with over 75 years of combined experience, Tri-State Roofing can build a new roof or repair your old one with rubber, built-up, or shingle roofing for both commercial and residential buildings. Your roof does more than just cover your property. It protects your family and valuable possessions. Call Tri-State Roofing at 422-5779.
Back out at Castle High School, top half of the 7th inning, and we are tied at 3.
What a difference one swing of the bat can make. A big 3-run homer from Gator McBride, number 9 on the season. Ties us at 3. Brucken, Bochting, and Hines, the scheduled hitters, due up for Pate in the top half of the 7th.
Going to remind you, tomorrow night at 10:30, weather permitting, we are on the air with more American Legion baseball. Again, as this same Evansville Pate team takes on Rockport, and again, they are no slouch. But they're saying the rain will be here by tomorrow morning and take us all through a wet Thursday into Friday morning, Doug. We've seen that before.
Just what we need, more rain. I guess the farmers like it.
Good one. Good one, Stan.
Actually, not as dry as others have been. A wallop last night.
A lot of rain last Friday and then another cloudburst last night. I had the fortune of
that was a good one,
out and driving in that last night.
Out here picking the famed half-pot ticket. Wouldn't have took us long, but the young man dropped it all over the field. Had to pick up all the tickets.
He actually missed a couple and had to go back and do it again. Randy 0 for 2 has popped out to the second baseman and flown out to right field.
So again, new game, top half of the 7th, scheduled to go 9. Last time we were out here, we went a couple of extra innings. And a little overtime, if you remember. Different ball game, different pace right now.
All right, Jimmy.
3-3, top of 7.
And you look over the box score through the first 6 innings, Jim Lynch has done a pretty good job. 3 runs, only 4 base hits. A little control problem, has a couple walks, also has hit a batter.
Ball and no strikes. Here to Brucken. This one fouled back, 1-1 the count. Getting on a bad night for baseball. Humidity, I'm speaking of. A little bit cooler than days past. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And a little extra activity out in the left field area. Slight delay.
Lynch, probably if he can pick up another pitch, Doug, would be maybe your leader next year in Harrison, if not 1-2.
Well, I think with the experience he's getting this year and the tutelage of Andy Rice over there, he's got a pretty good fastball, a breaking pitch, maybe work on a split finger fastball or an off-speed pitch like a changeup. That would maybe put a little bit more confidence in him out there and give him that extra pitch that he can play with.
Here's another one taken upstairs. Incoming Don Kelly in left field. There's one away. So down goes your leadoff batter, Brucken, and it brings up again for a 3rd time Jim Bochting.
Jim 1 for 2, had an infield single and scored back in the 3rd. Bounced out to Jamie Carroll at shortstop in the 5th.
Hines awaits on deck. Will he be back in the 8th inning?
I think
or the bottom of the 7th.
If he's going to hit, he's going to be back. That inning-ending double play definitely helped him a lot. Was in a situation where he had runners at 1st and 3rd, only 1 out, and got a big pitch right there to B.J. Huff to ground into that double play.
1-0 here to Jim Bochting. Game tied at 3, top half of the 7th inning, scheduled to go 9. Here in our late Wednesday night of American Legion baseball. And we'll be in Jasper over the weekend, actually on Sunday afternoon. See the first of a doubleheader out there. Back to Ruxer Field.
Had a good time up there with the semi-state.
Tomorrow night it's back to Bosse Field. We've been quite a lot of places this year outside of Bosse Field. Indianapolis, right here at Castle. All the Little League fields in town. Spent some time at Dave Deering Field over the weekend with the Lakeview Optimists. And when you take a look at these younger players, Doug, and the coaches are agreeing, they're getting a lot better earlier. And you know what that means when they get to high school and so on.
That means we're going to see a lot of our Little League people and the Lakeview Optimists that we saw over the weekend a few years down the road in this American Legion ball program. They are starting out at such a young age where they've got the T-ball leagues like 4 and 5 years old where they just work really on eye and hand contact as far as coordination, picking the ball up and hitting it off a tee. And the coaching at such an early age is really pounding the fundamentals as far as hit and run situations, the sacrifice situations, watching the ball all the way from the pitcher's hand.
This one over the 3rd baseman, B.J. Huff over to Terry McCauley. There's 2 away.
Brings up the pitcher, Adam Hines. 0 for 1, had a sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd inning and lined out to shortstop Jamie Carroll back in the 5th.
Really, Carroll didn't even have to move on that one. 2 away, top of 7, tied at 3. Pate and Newburgh on this evening. Tomorrow, Rockport in town. Over comes Terry McCauley. And we go to the stretch half of the 7th inning. Still tied at 3. You're watching American Legion Baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
On the wonderful world of Disney, the fight for freedom continues.
Little leader, faster!
As the Robin Hood of the Revolution is trapped in a British stronghold, where outgunned and outmanned, he must once again outfox the enemy forces.
I'll still pin your hide to my wall, Swamp Fox.
He robbed from the Redcoats and gave liberty to the colonies. The Swamp Fox on the wonderful world of Disney.
Out at Castle High School with Doug Emming. I'm Duran Smith. Bottom half of the 7th inning, we have got a 3-3 ball game and perhaps some changes coming up here for Newburgh Capperman. Have those to you momentarily. Capperman came in 14-7. At Evansville, Pate at 19-4. Pate last night taking care of Tell City 7-0 again on an Elpers 3-hitter. So the pitching and batting going well for both teams actually. Give a slight better record to Pate in solid competition or hard schedules throughout for both. Mentioned the Indianapolis Bulls earlier. That is an all-star team made up of a lot of all-stars from Indianapolis and surrounding Indiana teams. A couple of the guys from the Jasper High School team. Noblet, for example, is part of that team, and they will take on Funkhauser on the 24th. And this Newburgh Capperman team right here on the 25th. This is some kind of team to see. The Indianapolis Bulls are not really a American Legion team that can go on any further in the postseason. It's just an all-star team that makes their rounds around the state of Indiana, and they are very, very impressive, and we get a look at them 1 week from Friday night.
And I think it's a good opportunity for some of the area teams to go up against competition like that, really preparing them for the postseason. Pinch hitter here for Newburgh in the bottom half of the 7th inning, Tom Helt, hitting in the place of Jim Lynch.
So our first look, maybe Lynch done
After that announcement
for a while. Helt, good size on him, falls behind on the count now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason Engelbrecht is on deck.
Be another key to Andy Rice's program at Harrison next year. Will be a senior. On the Legion season, hitting at 262.
This one taken in there for a base hit. So Tom Helt does good in his first appearance at the plate this evening. It's a leadoff single for Tom, and we go back on top here to Jason Engelbrecht.
Jason 1 for 3, picked up a double to left field back in the 3rd inning. And it'll be interesting to see just how long Mike Gady is going to go with Adam Hines, struggling back in the 6th inning. So that was really his only bad inning when he allowed that 3-run homer to Gator McBride.
Be good batter, Jay.
Only 6 base hits now, 7, counting the one there by the pinch hitter Helt.
Here's the solid 4, Engelbrecht, Carroll, Kelly, and McBride here. One down on the first base side, and that is not in time. He thought about it. Sugas to Brucken, and now it's 1st and 2nd, and things going Newburgh's way. Maybe decision time for head coach Mike Gady.
And it looks like John Ambrose has been inserted defensively at 3rd base in the place of Brian Zukas. So that was John. No chance at all really to get the speed of Engelbrecht at first. He did a good job. A lot of times you see a 3rd baseman maybe let that try to go foul. With the grass area here, there's not really a chance unless it hits a bump or something to kick foul. So he picked the ball up, faked a throw to first, maybe drawing, held off at 2nd base, but he stayed real close.
2 for 3, Jamie Carroll, singles 1st and 6th, struck out back in that 3rd. 1st and 2nd here for Newburgh Capperman. Game all tied up at 3, bottom half of the 7th inning. So Engelbrecht on at 1st, Tom Helt down at 2nd, back-to-back singles. Don Kelly on deck. Does not get any easier with McBride, who homered a 3-run homer back in that 6th inning.
And this is the problem that he ran into last time. Carroll started that 6th inning out, getting on base, then a single by Kelly, and the 3-run dinger by McBride.
There's a look back here by Adam Hines. Right now probably bothered by what has happened since the homer. And actually right before the homer was not pitching his best. were not as potent as earlier.
First baseman Randy Brucken almost halfway between first and home, expecting a bunt.
Trying to bunt his way aboard, or at least move those runners up right here on the first base side. That just went foul. Just foul here on the first base side. Some of the fans saying the first baseman touched it. I don't think so.
I think Randy tried to get over and pick it up as soon as he saw that it went foul. Lost his footing and then tried to scramble back.
Good try, Jamie.
Jim Bochting, the second baseman, finally came over and got it when he was still in foul territory.
1 ball and 1 strike. Fans here in Newburgh love their baseball.
And they're helping out the umpires all they can tonight.
That's kind of nice of them, isn't it? 1-1 to Jamie Carroll. Again, Big Don Kelly on deck. First and second for Newburgh. Trying to go on top 4-3. 1-1 pitch is high again from Adam Hines. Well, if he allows Carroll to get on in there, I suspect we'll see Bowles.
Kenny back up and working in a rather heated fashion right now down in the bullpen.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Again, Hines is just missing high. He does not have what he had earlier. Pretty much outstanding through 5 innings for Adam Hines. But it looks like that's all he's giving us tonight. 3-1, and now in jeopardy of loading up the bases here. It's 3-1 to Jamie Carroll with your 3 and 4 batters on deck. Has to be there. Inside pitch would have been ball 4, 3-2.
Probably, and I'm sure that Jamie would like to have that pitch back. If you remember, Adam struggled early in the ball game with his location. It was up high in the strike zone. It really didn't hurt him that much. Gave up a walk back in the 2nd inning, and then about the 5th inning, gave up a walk to McCauley, then settled down a little bit before that 6th inning.
This one also going to sneak on in there. This should give Newburgh Kapperman the lead. They'll bring across this one. In comes Tom Helt, and it's 2nd and 3rd for Newburgh. Holding up is Engelbrecht. Coming through again. Oh, he's so good with the bat. Jamie Carroll picks up an RBI. And for the first time, Kapperman has the lead. It's 4-3 here at Castle.
3rd time he's been on base tonight. And anytime you can get your number 2 hitter with people in scoring position like that, more times than not, they're going to come through with a big base hit. Not a real good play there by center fielder Hoskins. The play coming in, not a chance really at the plate. Elected to throw it all the way in. Sailed over the catcher Craddock's head all the way to the backstop. So on the throwing error, both Engelbrecht and Carroll advance 1 base.
They're going to want Mr. Bowles, and down goes Adam Hines. Good through 5. Trouble in the last 2 or inning and a half. We'll take this time out with a break in the action. You're watching American Legion Baseball right here on WAZ TV 52.
Swing and a line drive, and that's the winner for Wendleton. First one. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. Holy cow! Cardinals won the Eastern Division crown. Again. That kids are at it again. Another miracle. A swing and a miss, and that's the World Series winner for the Cardinals.
Catch the baseball fever right here on WAZ TV 52.
A small-town cop.
Just trying to stay smart.
And a hardcore hustler.
Trick or treat.
With blackmail on her mind.
How much?
50,000.
Adds up to a big city problem.
I want you to pay her off, bust her up a little, and run her out of town.
Stacy Keach and Keenan Wynn are caught in a collision of violent passion and deadly deceit, struggling against the killer inside me.
Back out at Castle High School with Doug Emming. I'm Duran Smith. Pitching change. Kenny Bowles in for Adam Hines.
Left-hander out of North High School. 3-0 record, a 1.95 ERA. 39 1/3 innings of work. He's allowed 31 base hits, 12 runs, 11 of those earned. Also 37 strikeouts and a big 31 walks.
Tough 7th inning. Helt got a single. Engelbrecht followed up with the same. Jamie Carroll grabbed 2 bags on the commotion. 2nd and 3rd here for Newburgh, and they have the lead 4-3. Kelly, McBride, and Wilson, nobody out here, bottom half of the 7th inning.
And you look at the stats on Bowles, impressive as far as the win-loss record, also on ERA, but the number that really stands out is walks, 31 through 39 in the 3rd innings. He can't really afford to give too many walks in this situation. 2nd and 3rd, a very dangerous Kelly at the plate. You think okay, he's a good hitter, you might want to go ahead and walk him, but then you got McBride right behind him on deck.
So again, your strength, your leaders, Kelly and McBride, with nobody out and 2 in scoring position. We've seen Bowles a couple of times this year on TV 52, and yes, like what we've seen. So work cut out for him here. His first offering is a strike to Don Kelly.
Donnie 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single to center field and came around to score on that 3-run home run by McBride an inning ago.
Just give it a ride. That'll bring at least one.
McBride again on deck. No win though. So take a look at the center field flag. That one is going to drop on in there for a base hit. You got to pick up 2 more for Newburgh Kapperman. On his way to second is Don Kelly. A 2 RBI double, and there is still nobody out.
We talked about how this Newburgh club can come back. We saw a good example of that in the earlier Funkhauser game that we had. Just when you think that they might be down, Adam did a good job in that 5th inning. Pate came back and put 1 more run on the scoreboard, 3-0 going into the 6th, and then the damage started to be a factor.
Here again is Gator McBride. Went down 5-3 in the first, struck out in the 4th. 3-run homer back an inning ago. 1 in scoring position, Don Kelly cleaned the bases there. 1-0 now to Gator McBride. Stan Wilson is on deck. Castle or Newburgh up by a score of 6-3. We're trailing 3-0, so it's 6 unanswered runs, which began on the 3-run homer by McBride.
Come on, Gator!
Out by a couple down at second. Ready to score. 1 down low again. And you mentioned the walks. It's 3-0 here to Gator.
And a tough position right here for Kenny. You don't want to come in with something fat. You know that McBride is capable of really spraying the ball all around the ballpark. 3-0 pitch here. You want to come in with a strike if you can, but yet you don't want to give in to him. With a hitter like that, I'm sure he's got the green light. 3-0.
Here is Stan Wilson. Runners at first and second. I've talked about this before. Wilson is such a good athlete. Many sports. And solid throughout. What hurts him sometimes is he gets too down on himself and he takes himself out of the game.
He applies a lot of inner pressure, wanting to do the best that he can. There he's trying to give up in the bat, sacrificing the runners over to second and third, just foul. But this is the situation he likes to be in. You've got runners at first and second. There's nobody out. Would like to get an extra base hit somewhere in the outfield in the alley where maybe he's got a chance to score 2 runs.
0-1 here to Stan Wilson. Tom Tice is on deck. Again, first and second here for Newburgh. G-Stat still nobody out. Take a shot at him down here, and this becomes trouble for Newburgh. The good fielding of Pate. And there's 1 away like that, and that helps out an awful lot.
Good arm there by Jason Craddock with the bunt situation. Donnie Kelly got a little bit too far off of second base, and with that accurate arm, we saw him throw 1 away before, but a catcher has to have confidence in that arm, not be able to be afraid to throw in that situation. And Kelly saw the throw going back, realized he probably couldn't get back. Robbie Kent ran him down, got the ball over to Ambrose, who applied the tag.
0-2 here to Stan Wilson. We'll do that again. Keep the count 0-2. So that changes a lot. You had second and third. But nobody out. Now just 1 down at second with a single out. But you're down 6-3 here if you're Pate. And you have the 3-0 lead. That has to hurt. Bowles in for Adam Hines. Lynch was pinch hit for by Tom Health. We'll have to wait and see if there's a change made there. 0-2. And not missing by much there on the outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good pitch right there by Kenny on the outside part of the plate, down in the strike zone right around the knee area.
Take a look back at second. Here's your 1-2 pitch. And again, a bad one by Bowles. Hopping for a gut to Craddock. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
And it really helps being a pitcher when you've got a catcher behind the plate that you know is going to block the pitch. A lot of times, especially with the runner at second base, you might be a little hesitant to throw that breaking pitch. not being comfortable with the man behind the plate, but Jason does a good job.
Runner goes, and he has some speed also. That's Gator McBride taking third as down goes Stan Wilson, the catcher.
Okay, TT.
Big second out. Brings up the right fielder, Tom Tice. 0 for 2, last time up walked back in the 6th.
Then he gets upset with himself. Down goes the bat, down goes the helmet. Here's Tom Tice. Terry McCauley to follow. Off and Helt. He'll have batted through if that happens. But there's now 2 away. And that one finds the outside corner. Nice comeback here by Bowles to get Wilson to strike out. Also some help on the bases earlier. As caught was Kelly. Now McBride is 90 feet away. 0-2 here.
Good breaking pitch right there by Kenny. Got ahead of the count with an outside fastball, then comes back with a breaking pitch. Breaks right over the corner.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. We'll do this again as he fouls this one off. Tom Tice, I would say, taking a look at Memorial Reserve and varsity a year ago to this year, I think I've said it before, he's the most pleasant surprise of the bunch.
And I think he, as far as we were concerned, came out of nowhere this year and really became a vital part of that Memorial offense. A very solid defensive player in the outfield. And as we saw in that Funkhauser game earlier, can even come in on the mound and do some good work.
1-2 pitch here, taken to center field, right in front of Adrian Hoskins. So you score Gator McBride from third. And with 2 outs, they still make it happen. A big RBI for Tom Tice.
Run number 4 on the inning, 7-3 now in favor of Newburgh Capperman. Doesn't get any easier with Terry McCauley. He's been on base all 3 times. 2 walks and reached on an error back in the 6th.
Well, if Hoff steps up there, they'll bat it through. 4 runs in this inning for Newburgh. Big bottom half of the 7th inning and 1 high from Kenny Bowles. 1 on the bases at first, Tom Tice. 7-3 Newburgh, 7 all unanswered. Beginning with a homer back in the 6th by McBride. 1-0 pitch, well on the inside, 2-0. And if this continues, we'll see Gady again.
Right now, nobody up in the Pate bullpen. And again, it looks like another loose ball or something in the outfield. Or a dog.
A dog. Yep. This dog just snuck on out there.
Dog or a cat or
some kind of animal.
One of them critters.
Keeping that woods in the background out of the wild.
It might be the Newburgh mascot.
2-0 the count. Isn't that cute? Right now, Bowles in some trouble.
Take him over and chain him up.
3-step lead for Tice over at first. And this one upstairs, and you can get out of it after some trouble. Almost hit the base runner. 2 collide, hold on anyway. You like to forget about the bottom half of the 7th inning. 4 runs come across for Newburgh Capperman. They lead by a score of 7-3, and we go to the 8th inning. On this Wednesday late night, this is American Legion Baseball on TV 52. All righty.
For years, you've seen the familiar sight of an Indiana State Police car parked in the median. And for years, you've slowed down upon seeing this familiar sight. Now you'll be getting familiar with this sight. The new Indiana State Police Camaros are out to keep Indiana's highways safe. Don't meet the newest member of the Indiana State Police family. Be smart. Obey posted speed limits.
Remember how good it felt the first time you gave 5? Well, now there's another way to give 5. Set a goal to give more. 5 hours a week and 5% of your income to the causes you care about. It'll make you feel like a winner every day of your life. So give more. Give 5. Call 1-800-55-GIVE-5.
10 seconds.
Back out at Castle High School with Doug Emmick. I'm Darren Smith. Mr. Keaton onto the hill.
See Jeff Keaton out of Memorial High School. will be a senior next year. We talked about the staff coming back. I'm sure that Quentin Merkel will have him around the top second or third pitcher right behind John Ambrose.
So Jeff Keaton comes in, 185, 5'11". Looks bigger from here, but we'll take our first look this evening at Mr. Keaton. Has a cushion of 4 runs, Doug, at 7-3.
Real disastrous last 2 innings for Evansville Eugene Pate. All 7 runs coming in the last 2 innings, 7 base hits. Control was a problem with walk back in the 6th inning, another walk in the 7th.
Adrian Hoskins, Brian Sukis, Robbie Kent. Again, 1, 2, 3 for Eugene Pate. And some work to do offensively. Scheduled to go 9 against the top half of the 8th inning. First from Keaton on the outside for ball 1. Again tomorrow night, 10:30. It's Pate and Rockport from Bossy Field. On to Bossy Field a couple of more times, and that'll be it for 1992. Soccer and football right around the corner. And I think what we've got in store for you all, you're really going to like. Soccer every Thursday night, every Friday and Saturday night, SIAC high school football. So we've got a pretty nifty package coming up this fall.
Really nifty. Really busy. Probably our busiest season of the year.
Oh, absolutely. With UE football, USI, and UE soccer, the high school soccer and high school football. A very busy September and October coming up. And we kind of lay back a little bit in the summertime. 3-0 the count here, so Keaton and off to the best of starts. Adrian Hoskins, the batter. And 4 straight balls by Jeff Keaton.
You don't want to start off the top of the 8th inning with your leadoff man right there, getting him on base. That's the 3rd time now Hoskins has been on.
Yep.
Second walk also was hit by a pitch.
Brian Sukis. We may see a change here.
We had John Ambrose in defensively back at 3rd base in the bottom half of the 7th inning. So Ambrose, the scheduled hitter here. 2 hits and 11 at-bats, a 182 average. Spends most of his time on the mound, so when he came back from the Memorial State team, really does not get a whole lot of at-bats when he's on the mound.
Top of the 8th inning, 7-3. Leadoff walk, Hoskins out by a couple. Oh, bluff there by Stan Wilson. I was in a Stan talk before the game about how Hoskins shined in the postseason, surprising himself and maybe surprising a lot of others, making a name for himself in the 1992 postseason during those sectionals.
I think he, as we've said before, really came on strong as a complete ball player towards the second half of the season.
1 ball and 1 strike. Hoskins again up on a wide margin, finds the outside. There's the 1-2 now. So Keaton comes back strong here. Robbie Kent is on deck. But again, the count 1-2 to John Ambrose. 1-2 well on the outside. You know, Quentin doesn't like to bat his pitchers a lot. When Ambrose is in there, he follows that same rule and he takes a very good bat out of the lineup.
He is a very good hitter, and I think about halfway through the season was inserted defensively at 3rd base, so he got a number of bats. But still, when he was on the mound, his main responsibility was pitching, so he did not hit.
One upstairs, Tom Tice, one of the teammates there. And there's one away.
Brings up the shortstop, Robbie Kent, 0 for 2. Last time up back in the 6th inning, drew a walk and picked up a stolen base, also scored the 3rd run for Pate.
Well, Robbie Kent, the shortstop, 4-3, 6-3, walked, stole a base, passed ball, and scored back in that 6th. Matt Swanson is on deck.
Make him swing the bat, Jeff.
Hoskins over at first base. He's out by 4. Again, 1 away, top half of the 8th inning. 7-3 in favor of Newburgh. There goes Hoskins. An attempt down here, and it's not in time. Nope. Did not have him. He's underneath the tag. Close down there. And I think Engelbrecht is upset with the call.
A delayed steal right there. I was getting ready to say a good hit and run opportunity. Hoskins leads his club in stolen bases with 21. Robbie elected to take the pitch, so I don't know if it was a hit and run. It was almost a delayed steal where Hoskins waited about a second or two before he took off.
0-1 here to Kent. Hoskins now out by 4. They'll need him and a couple of more to make a game of this. 0-2 here to Robbie Kent.
Big pitches right there by Jeff Keaton. 0-1 pitch. Good job on the inside part of the plate. That one picture perfect on the outside part.
0-2 here to Kent. Hoskins over it for a second, bluffing. Robbie Kent, our TV 52 Athlete of the Month for the month of June.
What a senior year he had for Memorial.
Absolutely. On his way to Notre Dame in the fall. Here's the 1-2, not missing by much on the outside.
What does that matter?
2 balls and 2 strikes. Still no breeze at center field. It has not been that way. No breeze at all for the night. Hoskins again out by 4 down at second. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Kent, and he got it. Down goes Robbie Kent, and there's 2 away.
That is a big pitch and a very big out. On the outside part, just caught the outside corner. 2 down brings up Matt Swanson, a pinch hitter and a defensive replacement back in the 6th inning. His only time up, he fouled out to first baseman Terry McCauley.
Craddock's on deck, but 2 away. Pate in some trouble. Right now, Keaton has his stuff going, pitching against a lot of his former teammates.
And after struggling with the first hitter this inning, Hoskins, he walked him on 4 straight balls. Has really come back. Went 2-2 on Ambrose before he fouled out, or flied out to the right fielder Tice.
0-2. Take a look at the future of the Memorial Tigers pitching staff. Jeff Keaton here on the hill for Newburgh.
Trying to tie down that number 2 position in the rotation next year.
Just the start for Memorial. It's quite the honor. Not everybody makes it. Their reserve team is very, very good, as talked about. Here's one to left field, backing up Don Kelly. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It remains 7-3 in favor of Newburgh. That was Keaton on the hill. You're watching American Legion Baseball right here on TV 52.
When you hear this sound or see these lights, there's a very good chance that someone needs you. They need your blood to live. Please, when you hear this sound or see these lights, think about giving someone who needs you another chance. This is William Shatner for the American Red Cross. Please, give blood.
Street justice. Don't move! Street justice.
On the street, the law plays to a different beat.
Street justice.
Bottom half of the 8th inning, our score is 7-3 in favor of Newburgh Capperman.
2 up, 8, 9, and 1. Huff, then the new pitcher, Keaton, back to the top of the order in Engelbrecht. 7 big runs for Newburgh, all coming in the last 2 innings. 3 in the 6th and 4 again in the 7th.
And this would be the insurance. It'll be the last call in the top half of the 9th for Pate. Count is 1-0 here to B.J. Huff.
Kenny Bowles on for his 2nd inning of work. Faced 5 hitters back in the bottom of the 7th inning. Allowed a couple base hits, also drew a walk.
1 ball and 1 strike here to B.J. Huff. We'll take a look at Helt a second time. And take a look at strike 2 there, 1-2 the count. Newburgh up by 4. Actually, Keaton will be in. It's held batted for Lynch. Lynch was taken out.
BJ.
Here's the 2-2 pitch now. By Bowles, and he got him. Well, he got him looking for a third time. Down on the K goes B.J. Huff.
Good breaking pitch. We saw a pitch like that against Wilson back in the 7th inning. And when he gets ahead on the count, he can come in with that off-speed stuff. He's got it working tonight.
Well, we'll not see Jeff Keaton bat that much next year for Quentin Merkel. As I said earlier, he does not bat the pitchers often. So we take a look at Keaton here, see what he has. There's strike one. Bowles here to Keaton. First time tonight. We go back on top. Engelbrecht on deck. One away, bottom half of the 8th inning. And again, 7-3 Newburgh. Newburgh fans that game with Ferdinand Friday night is a 7 o'clock start time here at Castle High School. Again, we'll see you all there tomorrow night at Bosse Field at 7:30 as Rockport comes to town. And again, that is, I think, going to be quite a ball game if that rain holds off.
Well, you look at Rockport, they feed out of South Spencer. They also have Heritage Hills. And I had the opportunity last week to go up and umpire one of their ball games. Have got a pretty good team put together. Josh Jenkins, the catcher. Also Nix from Heritage Hills.
Heritage had a great year. A great year.
You can always count on Henry Ayers to get the boys ready, especially around postseason time. They have always got a good baseball program up there.
Ball and 2 strikes to the batter Jeff Keaton. Again, Engelbrecht on deck. There's one away. And again, 1-2 got him. So it's back-to-back Ks on the 8-9 batters here for Kenny Bowles. And for a 5th time, here comes Jason Engelbrecht.
J2 for 4 tonight. Had a double back in the 3rd inning, a bunt single, and came around to score in the 7th.
The first here to Engelbrecht. Carroll on deck. If we go one further, Craddock, McCutcheon, and Brucken due up in the top half of the 9th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a weird hit ball over moving Jim Bochting to Randy Brucken. We go to the top half of the 9th inning. Evansville, Eugene, Pate trailing by 4. It's Newburgh, Gapperman 7-3. American Legion Baseball continues on TV 52.
All right, all we need is quite exotic, patriotic, a little taxing, but very relaxing. It's WWF Wrestling Spotlight.
This week, you will see High Energy, the model Rick Martel, El Matador, Tito Santana, all on WWF Wrestling Spotlight.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seize several tons of crack and marijuana, and close down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
Last call for Evansville. Eugene Pate, top half of the 9th inning, and they're down by a score of 7-3.
Craddock, McCutcheon, Brucken, the scheduled 3 due up here. Jason 1 for 3 tonight. Had an RBI single back in the 6th inning when Pate put their 3rd run on the board.
We'll take time out here to wish the best of luck to the Evansville Outlaws. Semi-pro baseball here in Evansville. A lot of familiar names on that team. They will be in Sikeston, Missouri this upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And Doug, they are not too far away from heading to what would be the Semi-Pro World Series in Wichita. You've got Wilming, Effinger, Marty Watson. Remember Grady Murphy from a couple of years ago? All on that team, the Evansville Outlaws. So again, guys, best of luck in Sikeston, Missouri this upcoming weekend.
I had an opportunity to take a look at the Outlaws a couple weeks ago with our weekend of sports during Thunder on the Ohio. And I think those guys really have a lot of fun with that program.
Center field backing up, Gator McBride. He is so speedy. Back there at the warning track, 2 outs to go.
Brings up Chris McCutcheon, the right fielder. Chris 0 for 3 tonight. He's flown out all 3 times. Twice to right field. Last time up in the 6th inning, flew out to McBride in center.
Randy Brucken on deck. So Evansville Pate about to drop to 19-5. It's Rockport tomorrow night. Newburgh takes a couple of nights off before hosting Ferdinand Friday night, 7 o'clock right here. They will go to 15-7 if they can hold on. One away, top half of the ninth inning. We've seen strange things already happen at this ballpark already this year.
Well, we've had an indication that Newburgh is a team that does not crawl up and die, and it just makes it that much more really interesting whenever you look at the postseason as far as the sectional this year. Pate came in with probably the best record, but Newburgh crews right now, they can be beat.
Harrison's Jay Engelbrandt goes over to Memorial's Terry McCauley, talking about all-stars. Both head to college in Kentucky. They combine there, the 4-3, there's 2 away.
Last chance here for Pate with 2 out in the ninth. Randy Brucken, the first baseman, 0 for 3 tonight.
Tough night for Pate on a 3-0 lead. Gator McBride, who else? 3-run homer back in the 6th inning, gets it started. 4 come across in the 7th inning. So again, Newburgh starts off very, very slow and just comes storming back like a good racehorse, just from the back, and then here they come.
Attaboy, Trotter. They are going to be a team that is going to have to be dealt with, especially with the sectional being here at their home turf.
1-0 the count. Right to count 1-1.
One more.
Tell you what, I'm impressed with this guy, Keaton.
Has come in and really done a good job. Second inning of work, allowed a walk, picked up a strikeout back in the 8th inning. And pretty easy fashion so far here with the first 2 outs in the 9th.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Again, right in front of Stan Wilson. 2-1 the count. Not too many more games left in the regular season. Again, the sectionals right here at Castle, July 31st through August the 2nd. 2-1 pitch. Now goes 2-2. Started with Jim Lynch for the most part. Pretty good night for Jim.
Get it, Travis.
Look back, he went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs on only 4 base hits. Had a little control problem. Had a walk that, really 2 walks that came back to haunt him back in the 3rd inning when Hoskins walked and scored, and then Robbie Kent in the 6th inning came around to score.
2-2 pitch. This one taken out. Slower roller there to B.J. Huff. He's going to be on. 2 out single for Randy Brucken. And they stay alive. Here's Jim Bachting.
This is the one you want, 3.
Jim 1 for 3, had an infield single and scored back in the 3rd. 2 groundouts the last 2 times up. But this is what Pate needs to get the people up there that can swing the bat. And should he get on base, we'll bring up Kenny Bowles, the next scheduled hitter.
Elijah coming up after the game. What's happening around the world and nationwide? That's everywhere except on the West Coast.
And looking on the on-deck circle, Ryan Barrett has picked up a bat. So should Bachting reach, Barrett will pinch hit for the pitcher Bowles.
1-0 here to Bachting.
What time's this come on out in California?
Right back he comes, 1-1 the count. Brucken again will start to move out. He's out by 4. Always a threat to go with his speed out of north. 1-1 pitch, a bit high here to Bachting.
This is where patience comes into play. Another Memorial product. They seem to really know where the strike zone is. And right there, that pitch up around the letters didn't miss by much. But Jim knew it was out of the strike zone.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, and this one ripped into the outfield. So again, Pate stays alive. It's 1st and 2nd, and not done yet. Here's Mr. Brownlee.
Mr. Barrett.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm allowed to make a mistake once or twice.
Okay. Brian Barrett, pinch hitting here for Kenny Bowles, the pitcher. On the season, 158, 3 hits and 19 at-bats.
Come on, Tommy, get him.
And this is going to be a trip to the mound here for manager Joe Liss of Newburgh.
Keaton has not done that bad.
And I think Joe's just going out there just to give him a little confidence. The 2 runners on base right now don't mean a thing. You're up 4 runs. Go ahead and come in here and pitch this guy.
Ryan Barrett. You had Ryan down here. I was already thinking Brownlee.
You messed up. Don't try to cover it.
1st and 2nd here for Pate. And well on the extreme inside by Keaton. Here's the situation, 7-3 in favor of Newburgh.
Take it as easy as the rest.
2 on, but 2 away here. Top half of the 9th inning.
2 big 2-out hits right there by Bruck and also by Bochting.
This one taken out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Ryan Barrett. He joined Jamie Carroll from the area on that all-star team over the weekend.
Really had an exceptional year for Memorial High School, leading them as far as RBIs. And right there, that pitch by Keaton didn't miss by much.
2 balls and a strike.
How you miss that?
Again, 2 away. Newburgh again slow to start, comes on strong, big 6th and 7th. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Again becomes 3-1. Maybe we'll load the bases, which will put the tying run at the plate. They would go back on top to Adrian Hoskins.
Very interesting right here. Again, with that 4-run lead, you're not so much worried about the runners right now on the bases or even the guy at the plate. You just don't want to put him on.
This one upstairs, and this should probably do it. Jamie Carroll, the shortstop, that's it. Newburgh-Kapperman takes care of Evansville, Eugene, Pate, and they've done it before. This team's ability to win the big games, Doug. Their record is 15-7, maybe double the losses that now Evansville Pate has, but boy, they win when they really want to.
And you look back at really 2 innings. That's what it took to get the job done. 3 runs back in the 6th inning on 2 base hits, the big one, a 3-run homer by Gator McBride. Then an inning later in the 7th inning, 4 runs on 5 base hits.
Tomorrow night, we are at Bosse Field, back out at Bosse Field, when Evansville Pate takes on Rockport. But for now, it's a final 7-3 Newburgh over Evansville, Eugene Pate. For Doug Emig, I'm Darren Smith saying so long from Castle High School.
My hero, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.